What's up, Blitz?
It's going, man.
How you doing? You
I feel
excited?
great. I
We're on
feel
the
great.
road to rebirth.
Yeah, no, it's I feel like the last couple months we're just zooming on by, but this has to be the longest month ever, bro.
What are you
But I
the
appreciate you. I appreciate you helping me pass the time though.
Absolutely. I appreciate you being here. You're always very generous with your time. So, what are you the most excited about looking into rebirth? Like, I know you got a lot of combat content and your combat breakdown, which I will link in the YouTube description of the demo, found stuff that nobody else found. And there's like thousands of people played that demo by the time you got your hand on it, and you dug out stuff that was like you dug out the co meteor. Like that was wild stuff. I know you're a combat guy, but like, is there any story stuff too that you're really like you can't wait to see how they do this or how they do that?
Where do I even begin, man? I mean, the most excited like story element that like I really am dying to see is something that like they kind of just touched on briefly in the trailers and I'm okay with. I don't really want them to go too deep into it just yet, but like Red 13's backstory underneath Cosmo Canyon. We've seen like segments there with like Bugenhagen, Barrett and Red in those like cutscenes for that when they're about to fight the Gi tribe. Do you say G tribe or Gi tribe by the way?
We'll find out.
So that whole portion, I'm really excited to see how it is done in a fully voiced atmosphere and just the way that you see Nanaki's character come to form during that whole portion. I feel like he opens up more than anywhere else. And he kind of like it blew my mind as a kid because I'm thinking he's like this old being that's well in his people's time he's a little younger, but for us he's a little older. I get it, but like the way he presents himself, he just seems like he's got so much wisdom. He's much older, but when he's in Cosmo Canyon, he kind of like comes across as childlike, and it was kind of mind blowing for me, like seeing that when I was younger. So that's really something that I can't wait to see them hit off because I know that it's not just going to be something that we witness, and it kind of expands more on Nanaki's character. It's going to also expand on Barrett too because they're obviously putting Barrett and him together in every single scene, every single piece of dialogue we're seeing. Their banter is like A1. It's perfect. So I feel like when we get to that portion, him like Barrett and Red's relationship between each other will have expanded. And also I'm curious to see if they let us change his name or if they call him Nanaki after because it's kind of fucked up if we still keep calling him Red 13.
Well, unless that's what he wants, he's like, no, this is you get to use this name for me. These are for my homies. Nanaki, you got to get like, what if he just like only let like this is full circle for their character arc. Like he only lets Barrett call him Nanaki. Like he makes Cloud and everybody else call him Red. Like that would be
Yeah.
such a full circle, you know, like true romance, you know?
Yeah. It definitely would. It definitely would. I could totally see like people baiting some social topic relations into that as well. Like you're a native character and we're calling you red because your skin is or your fur is red. Like
I'll be honest, like that's a big I, I'm really cautious, about
yeah.
how it's a topic that we I think socially still have a lot of growth
Oh,
to
absolutely,
to
man.
be done on.
I mean, football teams are only now changing their names.
I
So,
know, I know, I know. It's rough, but I always like Final Fantasy as at times been like kind of a trendsetter with stuff like that.
yeah.
So I'm hoping they set some good trends, but we'll we'll see. It's tough. You've got to leverage expectation with with what we've progressed with as a society. But I always think better to progress than not.
Yeah.
That's just
But
me.
that portion is going to be very exciting to see. The second portion I would really like to like, obviously I really do want to see the Barrett and Dine moments. That's a big thing for me, being able to witness and experience. But I gotta say, I would love to see how the introduction and party integration is done with Vincent and Sid, more of the like unknown aspects that they haven't really touched on. So I really can't wait to witness. Like there's a big thing for me when like characters are joining the party, like coming together as one, and the group is like getting bigger. So those are big things to me that I keep thinking about like every day. Like I wonder how this is gonna play out. I wonder how this is gonna hit. So definitely
Yeah,
characters joining the party and characters slightly changing based off of traumatic events that occur to them. That's what I'm looking forward to.
totally. So and we did just have a big, trailer, or I mean a 1 minute trailer, but it was a doozy of a 1 minute trailer and some info drops. What did you see from that got you the most excited?
The it's one thing I noticed is that they keep recycling those specific scenes that they're showing us and just showing us a little bit more of those scenes and
Right.
nothing like exactly entirely new, like kind of expanding on it, right? Like I completely missed it, but Cheshire Cat, I don't know if they're in this chat right now, but they pointed out to me in my comments, I missed the Midgar Zolom, like one of the Zoloms like being stabbed in the tree.
Yeah, wrapped
I
around the
missed that.
tree. Yeah,
Yeah, on the back left. So I'm like, that's so like it blended in so well. Like I completely missed that. But like the scenes, because you posted one that was pretty cool, like the scenes with Tifa being in the water. Like, what does that mean for the story? Like, holy crap, there's so like that's completely obviously new. So that's like a huge shocking element. I can't wait to see what exactly is happening there. And I've been going through the old trailers and kind of like I was thinking about like editing it in like a chronological way to kind of see like how that scene plays out since we have like I think 5 shots for it. So that's one thing that's been like on my mind. How does that play out? What happens? Like how long is she like potentially in the water for? How long is she
yeah.
away from the party, you know? Like
It's a
if she even goes away from the party type of deal, you know?
it's a really deceptively cut, like particularly the release date trailer that has her seemingly floating in the live stream, and then say, "Is that a weapon?" And then it cuts to this other monster, but it cuts in a way that makes it feel like she's just free floating in the live stream. But there's a discrepancy between the way the monster that she sees looks and the one that's got the orb, the whale
Hmm.
like one that's got the giant materia on it. And I actually agree with your interpretation of it. I think that when she's seeing that other monster that looks similar to Abzu, that she's inside the material ball, like in
Yeah.
that monster, and that we're seeing this really bizarre cut of it. The other thing that I've seen floated by a couple people is that maybe that's our excuse for going to see Dr. Sheeran, is that maybe he tends to Tifa after some Mako poisoning. It's like close-ish, the Corel area to Gongaga, but I don't know. Like it would kind of have to re-edit we would kind of have to re-edit the order of things. But if you think about it, like there's this, we go back to the golden saucer in the OG, and this would be an interesting like plot mechanic to get us back to the golden saucer after our initial visit, is that Aoife has to go to Dr. Sheeran, which we know is in the Corel area, which is near Gold Saucer. So that would be an interesting like maybe that's what's going on there, is that Tifa's being healed. And if I saw that float, that'd be a good, I don't know. We'll see. That's just
Yeah, that's a good theory
speculation.
too. I love that whole thing. It's just like trying to figure out and like when hearing that, I hadn't thought about that before. So that's a really interesting way to think about how it could play out as well.
Yeah. One of the so besides, those interesting details, one of the things that I kind of like, my personally most, I think the most interesting stuff to see was the expansion of the destruction in the Terrierverse, right? Like seeing the tornado. We're seeing like we're seeing soldiers on a bicycle heading towards, you know,
Imminent
seemingly,
death.
yeah, yeah, and then into imminent death. But it's almost like it's weirdly similar to the bicycle scene, and then the destruction super extreme. It's really clear that whatever's happening here has its own set of consequences. It's like something much more concrete than like, oh, the live stream, or oh, some like less descript world. Like it's a real world with its own set of consequences, and the nature of it's still a mystery, but it really kind of, it's like each trailer is kind of narrowing the potentials for the meta stuff. And so, is that was the thing that when I saw that 1 minute, I was like, wow, they really packed a lot into this 1 minute. Also
Yeah.
the music, bump, 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 just good shit all around.
Yeah, that song, that's the Crab Warden and I think Abzu like boss song. That's a great track to like kind of like the way the trailer was cut,
Mm-hmm.
it flowed so well with it. And I think this was a very well cut trailer considering it was only 1 minute long. And I would not be upset at all. I said this in a comment on like Max's video, but like I would not be upset at all if this was the last trailer that they possibly show before the game launches. I know that's impossible, but
Yeah,
like it was so well done. I feel like we're at this point now where we've seen a perfect amount and there's still a lot left to be like discovered, deciphered, dissected
yeah,
that if they were to hold off, I wouldn't be mad at that. But,
yeah.
you know.
I would be more, I kind of think that there's always a final trailer,
Oh, of course,
you
yeah.
know.
That's like their staple.
Yeah, and if there's a demo, there's stuff associated with that, or like showcases and stuff like that. Like I I wouldn't be surprised, just knowing like their kind of standard content cycle, if like big gameplay chunks come out instead. Like, you don't really consider the or the grasslands footage to be a trailer, but it did display a lot of the game, right? And
Hmm.
I imagine we'll see more stuff like that to sell us on the actual gameplay portions, before we see major story beats. And technically, there's supposed to be some coming from Game Informer, according to them, but that just hasn't happened yet. Who knows if it when or if it will? But so I'm expecting more stuff like that. But in terms of a final trailer, I, I'm not even sure if I'm going to watch that. You know,
I don't
um,
blame you.
yeah, yeah. I might take a beat just on that one. Well, moving into the topic of the hour, we're moving into chapter 3, and you and I talked a little bit before we went live. You said chapter 3 is one of your favorites. Real briefly, while I get it set up, what do you like about chapter 3? Go through it.
So in the original game, when you go to the slums, it's like this one, maybe two or three screen like area, and you just kind of like the Sector 7 slums, that is. You go into this like two screen area, and that's about it. It's just done, right? So it
Yeah,
was kind of like one of those things where going into remake, I couldn't really wrap my mind around what exactly they would do with that area. Is it something that we barely will be? Like, is it just going to be like we get there and then we leave? Like, how much more of this game are they going to be covering? But when you get there, everything from the character banter in the beginning of that chapter when they're getting off the train from with Barrett and Avalanche, and they have their their little talk, and then they say, "Okay, meet up at the bar," and then you're just walking through. I took my time. I remember playing this. I took my time just taking in that music because, dude, hearing the theme hit in that portion was something special. And then you see things like the couple that's always like hugging and kissing by the train, and like I remember seeing that in the original game and just thinking that was such a funny like thing, and like checking in with them when you come back to the slums and seeing what their dialogue is then, and like seeing like them there in the exact spot that they would be. It just felt like coming back home in a way to something that I
I
played so much when I was younger because I didn't have a memory card when I first started playing FF7. So I played that beginning part a lot, chat. And I lived in a house where I would try to like leave my console on overnight to like just continue where I left off. And my mom would just, she sees the light on, she turns it off.
man.
And the fact that they turned it into a hub, right? Because it's like it's a hub with a bunch of side quests scattered around, and
Mhm.
you're hanging out with my favorite character, Tifa, most of the time, and just getting to learn and like converse with the people of the slums. And it's just, to me, it's really well done. I
Yeah,
really enjoyed those elements of it a lot. And it's at a point now where I've replayed that so many times because to platinum it, you gotta play that chapter 3 times. You
yeah,
gotta play chapter 8 3 times, and chapter 9 3 times. I never ever feel like deterred or like not wanting to play chapter 3 whenever the opportunity comes up. I always enjoy it.
Agreed. Agreed. So, without further ado, then let's do it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And this game does a really cool thing when there's like a character or like a person of interest in the background. The camera kind of like focuses on them and pivots, right? And like if you're expecting it, you know it's a thing, whatever. But like when you first play this chapter and you're walking, and they even do it in chapter 2, like when Aerith is in the distance and you're walking, the camera kind of like focuses on her, even if you try to walk in other directions, kind of like guiding you there. I like the way that felt, and they did it again in chapter 3 with Tifa when you come up to the bar.
Bombs detonated 1, members lost 0.
And one step closer to a brighter future.
Hell yeah!
Guys, lower your voices, huh? People are listening.
Also, there's this goofiness to it. You know, like
Just be ready for the next mission,
Yeah.
all right?
like it's all of a sudden it's just like they're home, you're home, like, okay, we can relax now.
See you soon.
There's gonna be a little bit of humor.
Except, you know, where
Yeah, the game kind of like
don't keep
relaxes here. Like it's chill.
Yeah.
And there is one moment that kind of just like gets you like, oh my god, what which is coming up soon, but it's just everything roaming around here just felt so great.
I don't remember.
I love
And this
these
is where I
NPCs.
actually got to like embrace the NPC dialogue.
Yeah.
And the reactor haven't come. Everyone gets pissed off when we stop working.
Yeah, see, there's jokes. They tell jokes. So here's the couple.
How about what?
I like the innuendo.
Yeah. They also mentioned the train graveyard if you come back to them.
Sad. The only place around here is the train graveyard.
Yep, there it is.
Everyone says it's haunted, but that's cool, right?
Rain check?
Yeah, dude, this guy doesn't want ghost voyeurs. That's what's going on.
Yeah. They got the same poster there that's in Tifa's room.
Yeah. Yeah, and I pointed this out on the chapter 1 stream too, but first of all, there's Loveless everywhere. The sky does sort of harken to, you know, like the water tower scene. You know, there's that Nibelheim sky.
Yeah.
This camera, this is a throwback to an OG sponsorship they had. They had a sort of a Sony camera sponsorship that was featured in the OG that's here. And they just, you know, rebuilt the camera. That's why it looks like the camera looks like a camera you wouldn't use today.
I love that about the kind of like the world, like the cars are like older design.
Yeah.
However, the phones are like modern as hell though.
Yeah, they got a lot of
Just seeing your faces.
but like you're not even that surprised by the weird mixture of technology because the power of Mako, like Livestream is such a outlandish sort of source of energy, magic, wisdom. Like it can do so much more. Like you would sort of expect a mixture of technologies like that because the technology can do more than society develops. You know, like it develops faster than society, and so it's always felt like not too outlandish that there's this disconnect between technology and
Talk about weird stuff going down. A reactor bombing.
Yeah, it's like rapidly advanced already.
What do we even
Yeah.
do here?
as soon as they figured out how to harness it, it was like the
Am I hungry?
you know industrial era and I hate that it doesn't let you go in there.
No way. I killed it.
How are people here?
He's really tall.
Office still there?
It was a ghost, not a monster, that attacked this guy this afternoon.
Yeah, and there is a distinction between the ghosts and then the monsters here, which is, and then there's also whispers, which are not ghosts. Like, never
Yeah,
forget.
there definitely people trying to wander into the train graveyard.
There's a
Services have concluded for the day.
Hey, leftovers are for kids.
there is a guy here,
How about some soup with
and I will point him out,
someone's having
that is doing. I guarantee you, he is trying to do a Christopher Walken accent. Like he's trying to do an impersonation.
I'm getting my drink on at 7.
And this is another thing I love that they do is like even the like NPCs that are like named NPCs or have their own like kind of personality, they'll just be seen hanging around here and you can see them. Like this is this is this dude's family. This is Shinra middle manager junior right here, you know?
Yeah, and he references her in the well, the Yuffie chapter for intermission when you play him in Fort Condor.
Yeah,
Oh, that's actually not
And that actually blew my mind too, like seeing Kyrie
yeah.
again a little later.
did we have to come to
Because I
this
didn't notice
slums?
her at all the first time around.
Yeah, there's just a ton of life here, you know, and is one of those chapters you're like, man, this is like what I dreamed of. It's also so much bigger, you know, than it was in the OG, you know, like with 5 NPCs, but like nothing is really missing.
Yeah, yeah. It's if anything they've kept all the things that were originally there and just expanded more, kind of like
What kind of person bombs a reactor?
went ham on like the minor details. Like of course, like people, posters, shops, people eating, doing their day-to-day tasks, talking about like the crazy stuff that happened.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, shoes on the other foot now. I've never seen anything like it before.
Like it feels real, like it's lived in.
yeah, absolutely.
Security was out in full force looking for the
And it's like when you hear slums, you kind of just think like I don't want to go there. Like I like it doesn't sound like someplace I'd really want to visit, right? But like
Yeah,
I want to go here. I want to hang out with these people. I want to like, get some food by the food trucks. I want to get tripped out by some Mako junkies.
yeah. And speaking of, this is a wild scene. This was when, you know, like chapter 1 had few little things that you're like, oh man, we're gonna go on a weird ride. Chapter 2 had some major things like the like
Mhm.
Sephiroth showing up, you seeing Sephiroth, hearing his voice, him taunting you about his mother, and then the Whispers showing up. Like those were all pretty big deals for fans of the OG that were like, okay, there's more. This is remake plus plus. You know, this whole thing feels like a new game plus. And
Yeah, it added a whole mystery on top of all the shit that was happening, and it was like, what?
and this was one of those scenes for me. Like this one for me was weirdly impactful because it started to trip my brain out as to where we even are. Like, is this a dream? This was kind of the first thing I was like, oh man, am I playing in a simulation of Final Fantasy VII? So we'll play the scene.
Mako is the lifeblood of the planet? Yeah, the hell it is. Goddamn eco-warriors with their dumbass posters. I tear them down and they're back up inside of an hour. Like I've got nothing better to do. I mean, look at all that steel work. You trying to tell me that's not progress?
That right there. So we get this weird scene that's like,
What the? You okay, buddy? Mako junkie, huh? Figures.
so what's wild to me is one, we get a vision of the future, right? So we that's a vision of Platefall, you know, that's gonna happen, or maybe something else. But within the confines of our current understanding of the lore, that's a flash of a event to be. Then the guy says, "Oh, you must be a Mako junkie," which is an interesting characterization of how you can use Mako. Like you can abuse it like a drug, and it makes you see the future.
Get hopped up.
Yeah, get hopped up on the future, on the memories of the future. But that the realization of that, like just him kind of having this idea that maybe he's not who he is, or that there is some kind of threat to his identity, makes the Whispers materialize. It's a really, really dense little few seconds for me. And I remember being like, chapter 18 is going to be bonkers. Like, whatever happens at the end is going to be so crazy. There's got to be some way weird twist.
Yeah, and I just realized too, this guy, they moved this guy. He's supposed to be. I just realized this is the dude that would technically be in chapter 2 when you're leaving the reactor after you bombed it. And there's a guy reading a message about for Avalanche on the wall.
Right. He's in the Sector 8 upper plate, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they moved that scene to this, and they used that to kind of like dabble some more Whisper,
Yeah.
more Whisper appearances in front of us to kind of like intrigue people. Because like I don't know how like as a
Exercise caution. No
as a
reason to
fan
check
like
out.
people weren't like
Not my problem.
immediately like whoa like what is going on, like that's different.
Yeah.
Some people just like immediately wrote it off, but me, I was invested. I was like, what is that?
Excuse me.
That's new.
Due to an
Yeah.
emergency, entry into this area is
I love these
prohibited.
guys.
Yeah,
Sorry for
even
the
these guys,
inconvenience.
like,
You called that a warning?
No, sir.
they had plucky dialogue in the original, and for them to like bring
In
back
accordance with
them
emergency
having
regulations, entry into this
plucky
area is
dialogue, they
prohibited.
even gave him a
Please
character arc.
leave at
You know,
once.
we see that later, but still, it's like the two Shinra
Go back
grads.
to him. Go back to him a third time. He like screams for this one.
This area is off limits. Turn around and leave at once. If you don't, I'll have no choice but to use force.
Now you're getting the hang of it.
Good voice acting from whoever voiced that guy. He's like, oh, you hear his voice breaking.
I love how you can tell like he clearly doesn't agree with his training and like what he's supposed to do, and
Right.
it comes back into play again later on.
It does, yeah. Yeah, there's that cognitive dissonance you can hear in him.
This scene right here is what got me.
I know, like immediately the theme kicks in, and I it's one of the few times where I was like, I didn't go off the beaten path to like look around what's happening here. I ran straight towards Seventh Heaven, like just like a giddy child, you know. But if you do that, you see, you know, little details here. You hear them freaking out about the plate fall.
They mentioned Mayor Domino there.
I'll make a grease monkey out of you yet.
Thanks. I've always dreamed of opening up my own shop, so I can look after my parents, you know?
Well, a man can always dream, can he?
It forces the camera to.
I
which
love
is-
the way
yeah,
that looks. Like you
Yeah.
see how it focuses on
Yeah.
Kiva and Marlene.
Marlene.
Yeah, and Marlene is so unbearably cute.
That's right, Angel.
Welcome
I am.
back.
Have you been a good girl?
Yeah, the levity
Oh, you did you? Well,
immediately humanizes Barrett. You know,
You made it. Where'd you get that? I can't remember the last time I saw a real one.
and if we enable free cam, which
Oh, that's right. You have free cam.
yeah, I will do editing this out in post. Editing it out in post. Cam, you check over here too. You do see Kyrie in this group.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he comes over here and starts hanging out. So it's just like there's a ton of stuff like that too, where you know, all the different people that don't need to be going in their place. You know, they don't need to like go find a, you know, a place to be characters. They do anyways, because it's just like it's like the details that fill in the world. Hi, Charlie.
Yeah, like it's the whole thing about them populating the streets
Yeah.
and like making it feel like a even though it is a slum, it's a sector within a big city, it shows that there is a lot of roaming around. There's a lot of people that are actively doing things at all times, and it's like it almost gets that vibe that like the city like doesn't sleep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it can't, you know, because these people probably have to, you know, if they do have jobs, they work on the upper plate. They probably have to, you know, keep everything going 24/7 for the, you know, upper plate people. So who knows when they're gonna get home, you know, and takes a while to get home. Everything. It's really, it's just
Yeah.
yeah. It's
And you hear like how much like Cloud and them's actions impacted a lot of these people. Like
Mhm.
they couldn't get home on time. Their families thought that they were gonna die, type of thing, and they didn't hear from them. It's just been such a hectic afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been quite the day. And then here we've got this, you know, Cloud sort of just acting cool, you know. Here you go.
How sweet. When did you get so thoughtful?
A guy can change. Has been 5 years. I need to talk to Barrett.
They just
That right there.
yeah, they just gloss over it, but it's a detail.
Yeah.
What do you think?
A lot of people missed that one. It's
Yeah.
I when I first, because like you know, can we talk about spoilers for the OG?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so like we all know, like the first thing that goes into her mind right there is like, what? It's been 7 years, not 5 years, and that's like the first like subtle hint that we get that Cloud's story is not lining up with Tifa's recollection of events, and it kind of like makes a lot of people wonder, okay, so why didn't she call him out on it? And it's like, well, she can't. If she does, it could be catastrophic towards like Cloud, it could ruin a lot of things, and she just wants to safely kind of like analyze him and see if she can slowly but surely work through and figure out, okay, what is going on with him? Why does he think this way? Why is this way type of deal, right? And that is one of those things that I always like enjoyed about her character, because a lot of times, like back in the day, I was kind of like that way too. Like if I noticed something was wrong, I wouldn't bring it up right away. I would
Yeah.
kind of just like ease my way into it to kind of just figure out, okay, how can we figure this out type of deal? Like where did this go wrong?
Right.
And that's not like the best way to handle things, but it's pretty normal, right? It's like a lot of people do that.
It's normal, and it may be too that she's like, Eva really understands the state he's in, and with the full context of everything, we kind of know that she does. Like she has this initial interaction with him where he's like basically a zombie, and
Hmm.
it's clear things aren't right. So she's got this natural intelligence and this natural intuition, and she's got a lot of concern for Cloud's character. So it's clear she's making a judgment call that this is not the appropriate time for his psyche, and that's it's I think super consistent with her character. I don't think it's out of character at all. I don't think it's a stretch. I don't think it's weird. I think it's really subtle and nuanced. And it also is this really interesting distraction too. Like, we just go from this Cloud kind of acting like a cool guy, and we're seeing as the chapters progress, he's more natural at it. He's like less awkward. Like I feel like he was pretty awkward in chapter 1 and 2. This is the least awkward that he is, and it's because he's kind of like coming into his own. He's like snapping in to focus. So we get to see bits of his development as like learning to be a person in real time over like the course of the 5 days or whatever that remake takes place. It's interesting. I like it a lot.
They did some really good choices, I think, with the way the dialogue flows and the conversations goes. Like that right there, just it plants the first like seed of doubt into like the player, and some people might miss it.
Don't you worry about
But I love how they
it.
don't kind of like they immediately move off of it.
Now turn that thing off and let's get you
They
ready.
do, and so now we're in Seventh Heaven, and I remember freaking out in here, just thinking how cool this was, and there's a lot of really cool details in Seventh Heaven that I'll point out now. For one, there's a tragedy that we never get to go down here. There's nothing under here, even in
Yeah, the
free
only way you
cam.
can see what's under there is if you play Final Fantasy VII's Battle Royale.
Yeah, but there are a bunch of really cool Easter eggs in here, anyways.
A lot, yeah. I love the photos for one thing. That's like a really, really nice touch that they did. Of the
Yeah.
family photos and stuff. The photos of the old bar style.
Yeah, and so you can't really see it here because it's out of focus badly, but this is a photo from Advent Children of it's a concept photo of or a key art CG photo of Barrett and Marlene. So you can actually make out the white vest that Barrett
Yeah, the
has.
outfit that with the fishnet.
Yeah, yeah. And then this is, the OG Seventh Heaven from FF7. The external from FF7 OG is pictured there. This is Edge's version of Seventh Heaven, and so that's from Advent Children as well.
I love how the first two shots, like the external and the internal shots,
Mm-hmm.
are literally the entire all that it is of this area in the OG.
This is also from Seventh Heaven. So this is the Advent Children. So this is the, it's pictures of pictures that were in Advent Children.
Yeah.
Behind the bar, which is a cool detail. But my favorite one is this license plate. And this license plate is so cool. So it has a bunch of details. So LOC 053. So that probably stands for Lockhart, like the family name. And 53 is indicative of May 3rd. May 3rd is Tifa's birthday. You can't make it out great here, but it's this says below the 053 is 811, or I'm sorry, 813 and 170, the 172 or 175 or
It's hard
173.
to see.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I see a 3
173.
for sure.
Yeah, and
And
that
Final
is
Heaven.
yeah, and Final Heaven. But 811 is, or 813, I'm sorry, is Cloud's birthday, and then 173 is his height in centimeters.
Wow. See,
And
that's
the-
a detail I didn't know. I
and
didn't
the-
know they had his height there.
And it might be 175. I normally have a mod enabled that clears this up, but the only mod I have is the level 99 one. And then 21 and 20 is Cloud and Tifa's age, respectively.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is 20 working at the bar.
Yeah. Yeah. But, you know, she doesn't drink the drink. She just serves them, you know? Plus,
Yeah.
we don't know what the age of consent or the legal
Oh, that's right. You
drinking
could drink
age.
in Canada. You could drink at 19.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't know any of that stuff for Midgar. But we can just
What's
hope that it's good.
31st of September, does that say?
So it's 31 start is what it says, and it says Sector 7 station, restaurant, store manager, Tifa, 7th Heaven. So this is some kind of like, it's from the Shinra board, you know, like say, hey, they're a legal restaurant or something, probably like an
Yeah.
alcohol license. And then they have some of these posters. They have they have this tomato sign, you know. They got all the deets, and also they have
Anything under the tables?
the floor.
Like, I mean, like underneath, like if you look up?
Nothing.
Man, that would be so...
Nothing.
The corner, it'd be so funny if like they put it, the side that Wedge sits on, it has a lot of gum.
Yeah. Also, look at guild prices here. So these prices, by the way, are exorbitant compared to the upper plate. In the previous chapter, like it's like $2.50 or 2 gil and 50 gil cents for like a hamburger. But this is like 350 gil. So like, you know, there's a poor tax for sure in the slums, you know, or just a oversight and consistency. I like the volcano bomb pinball machine. Missed opportunity, gold time pinball too, you know. The
Cowboy
old
reference.
western, old western feel. I like that a lot. I feel like that was like a choice that Tifa for sure made, you know, to reference her upbringing. Who do you typically talk to first?
I talked to Tifa, because then
Okay.
she tells you to talk with Barrett or check on Marlene or something.
Marlene company until I'm done with this.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you.
And like, Barrett completely misses that and then almost
Yeah.
attacks us here.
Yeah. So then we talk to Marlene.
What the hell you
Barrett.
think you're doing, scaring my daughter like that?
Daddy says never talk to strangers.
That's right, honey, I do say that. What a good girl you are, remembering Daddy's lessons. You know what else good girls do?
My God, I
They
love
go
John
to
Eric
bed.
Bentley.
I know
Come
he
on.
kills it here.
But I'm not tired. I want to talk some more, Daddy.
All right, but just this once.
So then, what can I get you?
My money. I'm still waiting on it.
One of the things I like about the voices of both Marlene and Betty is that they legitimately sound like children's voices. They don't sound like adults using a baby voice, you know? Like
Yeah,
Right.
that is a great
About
decision on
that.
their part, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
We should talk outside.
There's a character in Grand Blue Fantasy Relink that's a dragon that they
Uh-huh.
told
Daddy?
somebody to do a
people who
baby
died
voice
all
for, and
returned
it's
to the
just
planet?
not great.
that was so there's a little bit of dialogue that happens right after between Barrett and Marlene where Marlene's looking at the TV and she's like, did the people that died return to the planet? And Barrett's like, yeah, honey. And it's like there's a nuance to his performance where he kind of chokes as he says it because he's realizing that I mean, at least in his mind, from his perspective, he sent all those people to the live stream. You know, it was his actions.
That'd be a lesson to you.
And so it's one of the rare times where you hear him struggle with the moral decision he makes. He's usually really like, hey, we did it. We got to go. You know,
But when it comes to Marlene, he hits that roadblock
there's a
where
complexity.
it becomes
Yeah.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the official Seventh Heaven logo on the welcome mat too. I have that. I have that welcome mat, by the way.
That's awesome. I gotta come over.
Before we get on to money, there's an empty apartment in a place just down the road. It's nothing fancy, but I was thinking you could stay there for now. The landlady's a big friend of the cause, so you wouldn't even have to pay rent. Sound good?
Sure does. Thanks.
Follow me then.
Why did that guy go all up in Tifa's grill like that?
Chaotic.
You know, he's just doing Tifa things. I love the overall way that Tifa's approaching Cloud here. Like, and there's all this backstory too, to that she was kind of taught how to take care of people that come into the slums by Jesse and by Marl and by the way that they take care of Barrett when he comes in a year prior to this. You know, like it's just like a working part of her. And the way that she presents this information to Cloud is so sensitive to his condition. Like, before we talk about money, let's talk about the things that actually kind of matter here, which are like, you need a roof over your head. Like, she kind of knows that he is not working, you know, in this fully operational way. And so
He's unwell severely.
Yeah, she's just kind of operationalizing the things that he needs, and it fits her character really well.
Sorry for dragging you into all this. It was wrong of me to put you in danger like that. I promise I won't do it
Love how
again.
Kiri has question marks on her name.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about me.
I'll try not to.
Always happy to help stick it to Shinra.
I'll try not to, he says.
So, you make nice...
She's not saying I won't, because she knows she won't, you know? She will.
Much as I could, all things considered. Maybe not enough for them.
Good. You had me
I love this
worried.
little part of dialogue
You're
with
not
them.
exactly a people person.
I'll give you that.
I saw Sector 8 on the news. It was like a war zone.
The news is just another Shinra mouthpiece. They'll spread whatever lies Shinra tells them to.
So, it wasn't that bad?
It was.
I love that. So he has this kind of anti-Shinra, like, what would a cool guy respond with thing, which is, you can't trust the news. But then she doubles back, so are you saying it wasn't bad? And then he has to be honest. No, it was fucked. It was fucked. And just the softness in that dialogue is good.
Oh, right.
He does have a little choke right here too.
Yeah.
What's going to happen to us? How will this
Similar to like Barrett.
Yeah, there's that dog, intermission dog.
That dog is terrifying, bro. The
I
way
know.
the eyes are like
Here we are.
so
Good
blue.
old Stargazer Heights. You're on the second.
Yeah, let's look at those
It's
blue
like a
eyes.
modded version of the Wrathhound, or the Wrathhound. I guess is more of the modded version. I mean,
Yeah.
what if there's some backstory that Marl had 2 of these dogs and one went missing?
One got lost in deep ground. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah, that's an unsettling. Yeah, those are unsettling eyes. Good spot. Weirdly, there's not a ton of stamp in this chapter, but with the integrate upgrade, the PS5 upgrade, you could actually really easily see stamp right here. He also appears on some chip bags later, but it's really weird that you can kind of see stamp right as you get out of this, especially in the
That's cool.
daylight.
I never
Yeah,
noticed the stamp up there because I know that they mentioned specifically that Avalanche goes out of their way to utilize stamp to kind of like guide missions.
yeah, it's interesting.
Room 201 here is where I sleep. Don't have time for much else, what with 7th Heaven and all. Not even time to decorate.
Remember the days when the doors was such a big
Yeah.
controversy?
20.
Yeah, I do. And when they fixed the doors, it felt like
Don't worry. I already told the
it
landlady.
felt like lost somehow.
You did?
I wonder if it was Sunil that made that tweet about the doors. Like, yes, the doors are fixed.
Looking for a place to stay. Was that too much?
Probably.
It's fine. And this?
That one's no.
Like the Final
It's getting
Fantasy
late.
XIV
I'll
grapes.
introduce you tomorrow.
I love that they sold those grapes. Like people were actually able to buy the squapes.
Yeah. The I'll introduce you tomorrow too thing is like, does she know that maybe there's something weird with the guy that might be a little too much for for Cloud to handle in this moment, you know?
Maybe to Tifa, like there's a lot of similarities
Yeah.
with that guy to like Cloud, and she feels like it would trigger something, and it kind of shows that like the more you read like Traces of Two Past and play Ever
Mhm.
Crisis, because like when she comes across Cloud, he's initially like that,
Yeah.
like what they are.
Yeah. 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 Like just other than the robe, you know, like it's basically him.
You guys owe me 2,000, remember?
I do. And we'd love to settle up, especially since this was your first job for us. But
That's it?
sorry, we spent the rest preparing for the mission. That really is it. But not for long. I'm collecting money for filters tomorrow, so I can pay you after.
He looks so dejected and sad right there.
That face he does there, and
Yeah.
then the next morning
Of
when he goes to the
course,
bar,
as
the
long
other
as you
face, that
help
it
for
cracks me
this.
up so
Yeah.
much.
Wait, then I'd have to pay you for that too. Never mind.
No, 2,000's enough. That's what we agreed on, so that'll be the price. With what you gave me, that leaves 1,500.
The way that he responds here makes it clear that like he doesn't actually care about money. He just thinks he's supposed to. Like he took on the singular mission, which is we should become mercenaries, which is, you know, what was kind of implanted in him on the ride over from in the back of the truck with Zach. And so it's not even about the money. It's not even about solving his life problems. He has this kind of like
Compelling, like this compulsion to
compulsion to be. So that's why like when they're like, oh well, you know, that would be more money. He's like, oh no, I don't mind helping you. I just have to do this mercenary thing because I'm a mercenary. And if I'm not, then what am I?
yeah,
You're the
something in
best.
my head is telling me to do this, so I'm sorry, but I
I'll
need
see
to
you
do
bright
it.
and
Yeah.
early at the bar then. Thanks again for everything. Sleep tight.
I love how the characters all sleep over the covers with the full gear on still. This
That
neighbor has some
groaning.
serious bubble guts.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, don't trust those buns that he ate. Probably.
Would you like, honestly, in this situation, if I heard some shit like that next door, I am not checking.
No
Like, Cloud
way,
is
dude.
just-
No way, dude. But Cloud doesn't know any better. Like he's never lived in the big city. Like
Mhm.
you know, that's like, you know, letting people take their clothes off in the subway and pretending it's not their kind of behavior. You know, like we just know. We've been there. Like, oh, that's just a thing that happens. You know,
Yeah.
welcome to New York. But
The unspoken thing about New York is like everywhere you go in New York, especially on the subways, there's always the signs that say if you see something, say something.
yeah,
Like report activity, whatever. And it's like it's the unspoken rule that everybody in New York knows is like if you see something, you didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Don't say shit.
yeah, exactly.
Just
And
mind
so
your business.
yeah, he's new. He's new to Midgar. So
Country boy.
yeah, country boy. Yeah, I do love how like this is actually a pretty nice room. You know, like all things considered. I think that's a shower and that's a bathroom. You know, he's got it made there.
Yeah. And I think his rent is covered, right?
Yeah. This version of the music too, there's this weird kind of like real grunginess too that makes you feel like it's
I'm gonna raise the volume.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, hey, hold on just a second. We're going to pause for just a second. I'll be back, guys. This is getting edited out in post.
The Zoloms are all like shish kebabbed regularly. You know, like what if you're walking through
They're
just all
hundreds of dead ones.
Yeah, like, I feel like that would just be holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, it is hard if it's sort of a forced encounter, like because of like it's fun to beat that, but it was kind of cool that you would always die if you didn't prepare.
And
that
the
you had to-
preparation for that shit is crazy.
it's pretty gnarly, yeah.
You
Like,
have to
don't-
get the elemental materia from Mayor Domino.
Yep.
Keep a character in the front row wielding that. And if you want, gotta have enemy skill on so you could absorb the beta and use the beta to kill it.
Yeah, and also having sadness,
Yes,
helps.
yes.
Yeah, that's fun.
Is that front row? My bad, I meant back row.
Okay. Did we lose? Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. So,
Hey, you okay in there? Coming in.
So you see him again, you're like, oh man, are we just gonna see him all the time? This is a fun scene with
I
free
love the
cam.
genuine fear
Yeah,
that the scene like gives.
yeah. And free cam really does give you some fun opportunities with this scene, you know?
Yeah, I got some really amazing thumbnails of Cloud's like face in these
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah, yeah. And if you have like festive mods, you know, let's just say like shirtless mods, it really does add like a level of flair to this scene, you know?
The
Yeah.
McDonald's skin will always be iconic in this one.
Yeah, definitely. But it's just like it is like the horror. It's kind of just at this point what we're all we really know is that we're being presented with what it's like to be in Cloud's mind. You know that there's this looming specter of
Yeah.
Sephiroth.
And I love how like sporadic he was
Mhm.
too. Like he tried to pull out the sword, not realizing he can't fit it in there, and it threw him off, and he's just like so terrified.
Seeing this little bit too.
What are you doing to Marco? This is his apartment. He's got
Marco.
problems, but he's not a bad guy.
Marco's number 49. 49 is it's like it's been brought up as an interesting number because 49th floor is the soldier floor. 49
Seven
is
times.
7
What's
times
7 times
7.
7?
7 times 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the original, there was originally in concept script, Turquoise has brought this up, but Cloud was originally going to have a number, and it was going to be 48, which is wild, you know.
The landlady asked me to check on him now and then to make sure he's okay.
It's fucking
Can I
crazy.
ask you to do the same?
Sure.
If anybody's ever looked at the models for the robed clones, they have different configurations of like facial hair and hairstyle, but they all have Sephiroth's face.
That's wild. I actually never did look at them without
Mhm.
their robes.
Okay. The lights out, the music.
Were those papers there on the bench before? I can't even remember.
When you first walk in, no. And that's a big point of annoyance for me, but they're absolutely nothing. You can look in Tifa's room, yeah, with free cam. And there's some stuff here that's like kind of in everything. There's these weird, impossible to read DVD, CD things. You can't make that
Steve
out.
out here bootlegging, bro. Well,
Yeah.
actually, it's a slum, so you can expect, people
Yeah.
selling.
But they're like they have handwriting on them. So they're either like, something entertainment related, or what if they're like Avalanche materials, those weird
Ooh,
videos
yeah.
we hear about in the propaganda videos we hear about in Races of Two Paths. Got, folded linens. We've got this set of books, which is everywhere and really annoying. This set of books is 1 through 7, but it's missing volume 2. So there's a
7 volumes.
yeah. They don't
Part
mess around.
2 Rebirth.
So this
You gotta look for that in Rebirth now. If you find those and it's like volume 3 is missing.
there are posters advertising this handbag everywhere. For instance, in chapter 1, right next to this poster, which shows up in chapter 1 too, the Air Music Gallery poster, there's a poster for this handbag. So, and a picture of somebody that looks sort of Tifa-esque in the background of that poster. There's also this torn to shreds punching bag, which I think is such a cool detail that they added. Like, hey, she's in here doing Zangan things, and then toothbrush, and then meds. What kind of meds are those? What kind of meds
Yeah.
do they give out?
Probably something to deal with her
injury?
like post surgery.
Yeah. But yeah, you walk out here and there's stamp right there on the wall.
Telling you to go that way.
But this is like the first you're seeing of the daytime,
Well, now.
and you kind of see how ugly things are.
So how'd you like the place?
Here's Marl.
Up on high?
Integrate made it a little bit better with the lighting,
I'll bet. No matter.
like in the
All
best
kinds come
ways,
through with
like
all kinds of
highlighting it.
reasons.
Yeah.
If you ever need an ear to bend, I'll lend you mine. Can be about anything, even Tifa.
What's she to you?
Oh,
Granddaughter
getting
I've never
defensive.
had. And if you hurt her, I'll take it out of your hide. You hear me?
Loud and clear.
Good. Now
I
you
love
best
that
get a move on to
there's
send a
mutual
vet. He's got a
respect
head
there.
start on you and then some.
Yeah, they both love and want to protect Tifa.
Marl is a weird name, but it's like not even the first time it's been used by Nojima in the compilation. Leslie's girlfriend is also named Marl in Traces of Two Paths.
Really?
Yeah, and it's spelled the same way. It can be localized either Merle or Marl, and they chose Marl.
You know, Tifa's probably wondering why you haven't joined her yet.
But in Traces of Two Paths, Marl gets a ton of like context. It's really cool. Like basically, she teaches Tifa like a lesson about being used by her doctor. Like it turns out that the person that does post Nibelheim surgery on her is taking huge advantage of her and her son, and teaches her things about modesty. Kind of takes her under her wing and kind of lets her know, like, hey, you got to get out of this. She helps with the bar. She brings Tifa to Seventh Heaven, and sort of together they kind of come up with the idea of saving Seventh Heaven, and allowing Barrett to have a place to stay. So she's got like this really cool backstory that is shown a lot here because they couldn't, but it's really cool.
It was really well done. I know it's like, I think like obviously her character comes from a really great place, and then when you hear about all the extra stuff that she did in the background of the scenes, and Tifa kind of gives a little bit more explanation too later on.
Yeah,
it comes to Cloud's realization. I get it. Like she's looking out for Tifa. She just wants to make sure I'm a good guy type of thing. But Cloud's gonna Cloud, you know?
Yeah. So, and in chat, somebody asked, are we talking about Dr. Sheeran? Actually, no. So Dr. Sheeran initially patched her up, but she
did her sternum.
Yeah, but she was transferred to Midgar, and Zangan had a student here in Midgar whose mother was a surgeon, and both the student and the mother extorted her for thousands of dollars that she had to, basically slave away as a 16-year-old, until she was 18. And then she paid it off, or she was going to pay it off, but then realized she was being extorted, and all the money that she saved up, she instead used to buy Seventh Heaven, and she just knocked the dude on his ass that was the son, put his ass in check.
Good shit.
Yeah,
that's what we're talking about.
Here we got our first kitty. This is not the cat that's based off of Hamaguchi's own cat. That's shown later.
Thinking I might have dinner at 7.
It's one of Betty's 3s. Wedge has 3 cats also, right?
Hey.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
It's one of Wedge's cats actually. Is Hamaguchi's.
Let's get down to business, shall we?
Huh?
These water filters won't replace themselves. Although the next batch probably could, if Jessie put her mind to it. Most every home in the area has one.
Cloud's like me in the morning.
Because they practically eliminate the rotten egg smell. Honestly, they make us more money than this place. And it's easy money too. We bring new filters, collect the old ones, and get paid. What?
Give me a break. I'm not a salesman. I'm a soldier.
Which is why no one will refuse to pay. What do you say? Please?
Let's get this over with.
And that kind of aggravation that he has with like just the menialness of it, that's a real maturity thing too. One, it's a little bit tropey, like it's just kind of how anime and Japanese characters are sometimes portrayed when somebody gives them menial tasks. But also it's more of a shonen thing. And shonen is more about teenagers. And mentally, that's what he is. And so it's one of those ways that it shows his kind of immaturity.
It's like, oh, we gotta do this. I want to do some dope shit.
Yeah.
I'll give you the grand tour.
Man, she's fast.
Whatever we collect. Seeing as you didn't bring any luggage, I'm guessing there's stuff you need to buy.
Thanks.
And don't worry, we'll pay you the difference after. Barrett's out making his rounds too.
Don't take your
As long as I get it all today.
Some creepy dude. All the items you could want, straight from the plate. No matter your needs or your
Hey there.
Now this guy,
Water filter.
Tifa, baby, how you doing? Been waiting for you to... Wait, let me see.
Cloud's in charge of collections. He'll take
This
your
guy and Marl have the best hair.
Sounds like a pretty sweet
Yeah.
gig. If you ever need someone to fill in, I'm your man.
In your dreams, maybe.
Cloud, since we're here, maybe we should do a little shopping.
Suppose I could take a look?
I need nothing that you have.
Yeah, you got 99 everything, right?
Goodbye. I
Nothing to tickle your fancy?
no.
If you change your mind, you know where I am. And that goes for you too, Tifa.
We'll see you around, okay? And let us know when your
I love the
needs changing.
who the fuck is this guy response he first gives. Because everybody
All the items you could want, straight from the
It's funny how like there's different groups of people that if you roam around them, they mention things about Tifa and like genuinely like even the guys and
Yeah.
have some dialogue too.
Yeah.
Well, you
I mean,
could
especially
try
the
being a
guys.
little
Even the
nicer.
girls have dialogue too.
Yeah.
To get free shit? Not my style.
Our next stop is Stargazer Heights. Landlady's a client.
Just met her.
Then you know what to expect. Remember, she's a good friend of Avalanche, so be nice. Please.
Just imagine if rich people start thinking it's safer.
Stargazer Heights.
Yes.
Nothing to report.
Yes. Which is, I mean, that's a real reference on its own, like to their kind of relationship, the promise scene, everything.
Until nightfall. We'll report any developments
Hey, Marl.
immediately if observed.
Got some filters for ya.
Tifa, my dear, dear girl. What's he doing here?
Working?
Be nice. Cloud's helping me with collections.
You better take care of her.
I'm pretty good at taking care of myself, you know.
That I do. Still, better him than you. No charm, no wit. Big sword, but no skills.
I've got skills.
Eh,
I'm doing my best.
You're looking awfully
again,
glum.
a childish
Are you
response,
getting
you know.
enough A good long rest to cure anything. I
I've
tell
got
ya.
skills.
A tried and true lesson for life on the ground.
Doing
floor,
my best.
Right?
That you are. Now, your money.
Thanks, Marl. You take care of yourself.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
This kid
Nothing to report.
here just pops out.
Obtaining surveillance is so cool.
He just thinks being a spy is being in a dumpster.
We'll report
Spying on absolutely nothing. You picked the most
Marl's great.
the least
She helped
populated
get me
area
set
to,
up back
to
in the
spy.
day.
You been here a while now?
5 years, give or take.
And look who it is.
But
Mr.
never mind that.
Sussly himself.
We've gotta get you your money. Last
Significant.
stop is the weapons store.
Hey, if it isn't Tifa.
I do love how that number changes on
Yeah.
the monster slaying board.
Hey, that last filter didn't do shit.
We're so sorry about that. Hopefully this one will work better.
Save your excuses and get out.
All right, if you could just settle your bill, we'll be on our way.
The hell? You charging me for your busted ass goods?
My associate handles payment disputes.
Think you can mosey up in here and have it your way?
Mosey.
Pretty please.
Thank you very much.
My chat knows him as punk ass bitch man.
Yeah.
You've got a small fortune now. Why not take a gander at the weapons?
He also like rolls over so easy. Like
Yeah.
this stranger that's 5'8". Yeah, he's carrying a big sword, but like they don't know what he can do. You know, he's just like, you know.
Well,
Yeah, he's like, oh, what? You
we're
killed a couple
embarrassed about
monsters?
The rest.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Here's my weapon. Advertise me.
Before we open up tonight,
Even though I am the only weapon shop here.
what do you want to do?
Don't really know.
Did you see that?
Yeah, that light.
I've never had that happen in my life.
If you're serious about
What
becoming
was
a
that?
merchant, then you're going to need to start making connections. It's not what you
We
know,
haven't used
it's
free cam in a
you know?
while. So,
Another lesson for life on the ground floor.
Yep. Connections get you jobs. Jobs build your rep. And more rep gets you better connections.
How do I start?
Why not help out the neighborhood watch? They're mostly volunteers, but you'll get to know people.
Yeah, okay.
Didn't see anybody at the office, so let's head up top.
Okay. So now we have side quests. And that's
Huh?
some of the
I
side
ain't got
quests
nothing for a punk ass bitch like you. Get on out of here.
are a little rough on replay. But I remember the first time not feeling bad about these side quests at all. I was like, these are fun, you know?
yeah, I enjoyed them. Obviously,
yeah.
the cat one is a meme, but like
Yeah.
the rest of them is just it's about taking you around and showing you different areas of the slums and getting you to like know the people around it. And
Yeah.
I think they did a great job with it. It was very different with the chapter 8 quests. I feel like the chapter 8 quests were just kind of like it felt like they were never ending because of how much they
Yeah.
kept leading into others. Like you do one quest, but it leads into another, and you kind of have to do both.
Yeah. Yeah. And also being able to look up into the plate from during the daylight. Although the skybox didn't look fantastic, particularly in the PS4 version, it was still like, oh wow, like we're doing this. Like this is what it would be like
we're
under this
here.
plate. Yeah, we're here.
This is a real like place, and it's like I remember seeing the lighting update with the integrate trailer, and like
Yeah.
it added a whole new element to it.
Didn't
Yeah.
know you were holding down the fort.
Oh, hey, Cloud. Looking to join the neighborhood watch?
That depends. What does this neighborhood watch do?
The music here is good too.
Lots of stuff, really. But our top priority is taking care of any beasts that wander into town and teaching the locals how to defend themselves.
Like they say, the only one who will look out for you
Was that Gray?
Cloud's a great
Yeah.
fighter, but only we know that. If no one knows him, no one will
He's like, "Why is
hire
your door
him."
closed?"
Thought if he joined the watch, he could get his name out there.
Let me in.
work for everybody.
But he won't come in. He doesn't like the fans in there.
We can't pay you a kill, but we'll work
He
something.
just wants you to come out.
For example, what about
He's
your
very
sword?
demanding.
I could mod it for you.
No thanks.
Mods?
It's fine just the way it is.
What? You some kind of purist?
Some kind of purist.
Chance to improve my game.
That became so meme worthy.
Come on. At least let me show you how.
Bro,
it's done.
he just wants to rock the Buster Sword all day. But I want that modded twin stinger that looks like Ultima.
Yeah, yeah.
All set. Needless to say, you'll have to try it out to appreciate the difference.
Thanks.
We'll do you one better. Spread the word to everyone who listen about the new merc in town.
Between him and Wedge, there isn't anyone they don't know.
I'll march through the streets singing your praises, even on an empty stomach.
Okay.
So,
We don't have
are these
to
monsters?
always bring up Biggs's appetite or Wedge's appetite. We don't always have to do that.
Scrap Boulevard.
Yeah,
Good hunting.
Hey,
it's a little
Cloud,
too
I'll come with,
overused.
No, I've got this.
but you don't know the way, do you?
Lead on.
Sure thing. I know these.
So it's
streets better
hilarious
than
how like
anyone.
Tifa and Aerith both tease Cloud about like, what are you talking about? You don't know how to get there.
Yeah. Yeah. They both know. You're dumb.
Won't be anyone who doesn't know about the new merc when we're through.
Which is interesting because it shows like Cloud really like in his years at Shinra, he just mainly stayed in the building
Yeah.
and did field work here and there. Never really got to explore much of Midgar.
Yeah. I mean, according to Before Crisis, we know like he was in like the subway systems and on trains in Midgar, you know?
Mm-hmm. And you know he's really well like because like most of his they joke about him not knowing where to go, but as soon as he gets to like the Shinra area, he's like, we have to go here.
Yeah.
That floor is for like science and all this
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, he can fake it. Like he understands enough of how Shinra operates that he can, you know, kind of elaborate. What was this
Oh, I
song?
never noticed this guy doing the pull-ups.
Yeah.
You can do it. Push it.
That's actually not even a full pull-up.
Yeah.
Still got some left in the tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, the squat animation.
Tell me you're making that face because you think it looks
You ever try doing a squat like that with that animation?
Scrap Boulevard is out
Do a squat with that animation?
supposed to keep
Like
them
Yeah,
that
like
animation?
just like swinging your arms like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like I feel like it's a waste. Like it's just you're just using momentum.
Yeah. It like disrupts your balance. Like this is more doable.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the proper way. Whoa, 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 whoa. That man just like went into KO Ken mode.
Yeah. He just lets you talk to him.
I can't wait to talk to this fucker in the
I
open
know.
world areas.
Some details about Chadley that I will bring up since we're here is he's got these little buttons and you can't see him right here, but if you zoom in on that, it's the gold saucer. Yeah. It is absolutely the gold saucer on his button.
Wow, that's really cool.
His color coding too is very Moogle doll.
Yeah.
Kate says Moogle doll. But yeah, these buttons have gold saucer coding too.
That's so cool. Shit. And he has suspenders for his socks.
Yeah, yeah.
Just like the funniest thing to me.
Yeah, and also when you find out what he is, he's a cyborg. So the difference between, in many circles, and I'm not sure if that's how they meant it, but the difference between a cyborg and an android is that cyborgs are usually sentient beings with cybernetic parts. and an android is like a fully machine life form type thing that's made to be like look like a human. So he was a cyborg created by Hojo. So there is an unspoken premise that he is made of a real boy at some point, which is really
early on. People were theorizing he could have like some Sephiroth cells or something like that in him because of the white hair.
He looks like a young Vice, or like, it's he's got that coding to him, so
A young Vice, man, that would be interesting. We had him he collected data on us battle wise, so we could so he could like prepare for the future.
Yeah.
I doubt it. He loves Cloud too much.
Yeah. Now, I could burn a lot of time in this chapter, but we don't have that much time, so I am gonna kind of just go through the missions.
The main stuff.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do every side quest. This is cool here.
I can see why monsters would feel right at home.
This is straight up a reactor. This is a dilapidated reactor core just chilling here.
Yeah. Fell from straight up, right?
Yeah. And who
I
knows?
wonder if that happened while they were building.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe that's the story behind it. The weird fetchy nature of this isn't my favorite. Like, you go and then you gotta circle around a couple times, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So this is your first time getting to fight as Tifa too, and you're like, oh shit, Tifa is a beast,
Yeah, throwing hands.
This is my first time playing on Steam. I had previously played this on Epic.
That's what a soldier looks like in action.
Oh, that's what that sound was.
Yeah.
I'll bet. Let's keep at it.
I thought I got a notification. I was like, what was that?
Time to get serious.
All set.
The Gorgers. It always annoyed me that these Shinra boxes are devoid of, like, MP.
Yeah.
I'll end this. See ya.
Were rats and doom rats.
I know, and in hard mode, the very first time you fight doom rats, you're like, oh, these are harder.
It's a little surprising.
You know, Corneo's men tricked me on hard mode. I didn't know they had a grab move, and they grabbed me and they held me still while they just like took turns poking me and killed me on hard mode. I was so mad. I was like, what? I've never died in this fight. What is happening?
You won't stay gone for long.
Of course not. Even so, folks will be grateful for the peace and quiet in the meantime. A win's a win, you know?
True.
Trust me, it'll do wonders for your rep. Right. Let's go check in with Biggs and Wedge.
This truck, by the way, is like the most. Your first time seeing this model of truck, and you're like, this looks.
That's the thing.
It's the thing, And
I love the little details like that.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's like all rusted up to insinuate that like the timing of it, like how long it's been there just sitting.
And that they get all the secondhand stuff down here.
Hmm. Someone said it looked like a Shinra. Looked like a part of a Shinra rocket.
The reactor.
I think so.
It does, but it's if you compare the model, like it is the reactor that is in Chapter 1. They just made a rusted version of it and put it there.
Yeah, no worries, Marius. I got you guys on all the Tifa stuff.
Oh yeah.
That who Wedge mentioned? Merchant? I hear you sell swords. Might want to introduce yourself to the other merchants.
Look at that word. Traveled quick.
I ain't got nothing for a punk-ass bitch like you. Get on out of here.
Not quick enough for him.
Nope.
He's like, I don't got an iron blade yet for you.
Back already?
Got every last one too. Now the slums should be safe.
You guys are machines.
Good job. Meanwhile, we told everyone we could about you.
So I heard. I've got to ask though. What did you tell them?
It's all right. All you gotta do is keep up the good work. It'll pay off soon enough, I promise.
How's the sword, by the way?
Good.
Glad to hear it. Seems like the perfect fit for you.
Yeah, we've been through a lot.
That scene. So we've been through a lot. Like it's like he almost went too far when he said that, and him having to realize the context of what he said kind of made him realize it was not his memory at all, and so So that's why he kind of breaks here.
You okay?
I'm fine.
Been meaning to ask. After you left the village...
It's a long story.
I've got time. Why don't you tell me all about it while we try to rustle up some more work for you?
That sounds great. I'll come too.
Oh, no, you won't. Run along now, you two.
Sorry,
Go on.
maybe next time.
No fair.
Think about it for a second. They haven't seen each other in years. You'd be a third wheel.
Since you've got
He's like,
yourself
but I could hold the camera.
Yeah. Yeah, I could sit in the chair. Biggs being like the wisest member too. I really like that characterization for him. He's like,
He's very aware.
yeah, super intuitive. Like he knows he even picks up on Cloud's immaturity, you know, more than anybody else really. It's just because he's around kids all the time. So, and he's probably had to like be stern with kids where you know sometimes have to teach kids social lessons that they're not going to have the subtext for. Like you don't know what a third wheel is. Somebody's got to tell you what that is, right? And so he's used to telling somebody what that is.
Let's see if we can't put it to good use. Come on.
He's the grown-up of the group.
Who?
The guy who
Sweeping
tracks all the
dirt
requests that come to the
outside
watch.
of his
You never know.
apartment
Toss some
later.
work your way.
Where's he at?
He should be back at the office by now.
All right, let's go to the office.
With Weimer. Weimer's beard always trips me out.
What's fun about Weimer is that he is an NPC that has he's a cast member. You know, like he's not just a generated NPC, but aesthetically he's fairly identical to like this guy who's the same guy. He just has a hat on.
What is that he's standing on? It's a logo.
It does seem like something that is kind of interesting. It's like it's the office, but I imagine it's the badge of the neighborhood watch.
Gotcha.
You need a helping hand?
And that's the real estate he could afford.
To an old friend of mine. This is Cloud. He's a merc.
You don't say. Well, we're always on the lookout for experienced fighters to help us deal with the bigger critters.
I'll take on anything. For the right price, that is.
Experienced and cocky, huh? If it's a challenge you want, I might have a few good ones. Your clients can fill you in on the details. Prove yourself at these jobs, and I'll see if I can't find you some more.
He almost has a little accent too.
He does. Wonder what's his. So he doesn't have any prior like origins.
No, there's no Weimer. He's just Weimer. Here you can kind of see the gold saucer that's here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. I like that.
It's sort of like a call to the fact that he's a quest giver. You know, like he's kind of a side quest hub.
Would you like to see
Yeah.
it? I plan to develop more materia in the future. Together, we can harness enough power to take down Shinra.
And the scarf is like of Kate Sith type of a reference.
Yeah.
That went well. Could be
Both manufactured by Shinra.
Was alright, I guess.
Think of each job as an opportunity, not to make money, but to build connections.
It's not what you know, but who.
You remembered.
Not a patient teacher.
Maybe not so patient next time.
Oh boy.
That's what they call flirting.
Barrett should have
Like,
finished collecting his share of
it's
the
a
money.
little awkward, but it's good.
So what do you want to do? Head back to the bar?
So I am gonna just power through the side quest because there's that optional scene you get as a result, which is
Yeah,
you
the
know,
discovery.
Yeah.
I guess the fastest one to do here would be the cat one.
I do hope you won't forget about me.
You'll never want for work around here if you prove yourself useful.
So we did the Chadley one is already done automatically.
Yeah, automatically.
Until they get reactor 1 back up and running,
Rat Problem's pretty quick too.
But I think if you do 1 or 2 quests before the rat one, the Doom rats will automatically spawn first. Whereas if you go to that one first, it'll make you fight the were rats and then come back later to fight the Doom rats.
Okay, fair enough.
Johnny. Can't wait to see more of Johnny. I think he's a great addition to the comedic timing of this game.
Yeah. You hear that?
No, I missed that one.
I missed out on my chance to live next to Tifa. This guy. There's some other good dialogue.
Looking good. Quality product makes a huge difference. Is it just me or
There's more cats than usual.
I swear all Marlene with you?
No.
Okay. That was
I love how
kinda
Yuffie like comes to these parts of town when they leave. So like it's like that gray area where everybody just added a bunch of extra shit to the
Yeah.
slums that Cloud didn't get to see.
long arms and legs, and they're a little skinny. They like places where there's food, and nice people will give them treats when they ask. And small spaces. Oh yeah, and they're all cats.
I'm looking for cats.
They're friendly, so if you call them, they'll come running. All 3 of them. Find my friends, please.
All right.
You could be the best cat finder of all time.
Yeah.
We need to buy a house on the lake.
There's a way to get them without triggering Johnny.
Yeah.
Get the left one, then Sector 7 one, and then you can go around the long way to get the one that's halfway to the train.
Hey, what?
Oh, really?
I'm trying to get a cat.
Yeah.
So is this the one I should do first?
Snatched one of my pastries
Yeah, you
and
do this
scurried
one
in there.
first,
Will you
then the
read
one in
to her
front of
and lend me
Sector
a hand?
7, and then you walk around where like Wedge's house area is.
Okay.
So this way you bypass the crowd. Cat, you too clean to be hanging out with them other cats.
This is Hamaguchi's cat here? No.
I like how he killed off his own cat.
Yeah, that's cruel.
Looking good.
Okay, so now I go around and do the one.
You could do this at Sector 7 one. Sorry, the 7th Heaven Bar one. But since you're here, just go left here. You go straight.
I think I can still do. I'll just do the Sector 7 one. Right?
Yeah, it should be to the left here.
Oh wait, what? Here?
Yeah, you got it. I'm a little delayed. Like,
Oh yeah,
watching
yeah.
you.
No, you're okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you're on the right path.
Something's wrong. Let's check it out.
So now after you get this cat, you just walk back where you just came from and go around. I always try to do as much as I can and like save Johnny's one for like last.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of slow walking in that one.
If there's nothing you can't do, you can fix my plumbing, right?
Probably with that punk boyfriend of hers.
Yep, you got it right there.
Wait.
All right.
Look at all those cigarette butts.
I know. We're kitties. There is a lot of details like that. Here.
Betty, feed your cats, bro. Will I play the original New Threats soon? Oh man, I should. I've never played the
Oh really?
New Threat. I hear everybody says to play version 1.
Yeah.
What?
It said like version 2 was made a little bit easier.
So,
Yeah.
I'm never gonna see them again?
Betty's all sad about cats. They all 3 show up.
You came back!
The weird lessons you're teaching about permanence.
Chasing them. Thank you. The live stream, right? What's a live stream? I tell Dad we're good.
You think Marlene really does have some like ancient background?
No,
It's very interesting. Like she brought up about like, oh, did the people return to the planet today?
Yeah.
Like maybe Aerith gives her some sort of insight to it when she touches her.
I think it's more just that. I don't know. Well, it's not even. It's like there is precedent though, you know, because she does have that scene in the OG where she knows, like the flower girl, you know, like that's like a callback, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah, Mr. Happy here gives you a
Yeah.
quest.
What do we have here? I'm guessing you're that
Mr. Happy. I just got what you said. Mr. Happy, the streamer. He does look like him.
You look like you can handle yourself. So some drakes have made themselves at home.
Mr. Happy's been getting in good shape too.
Can't have that kind of
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. We talked about it when we were in London that he was going like when he gets back home, he's like hitting the gym. And then the next time I see him, I'm like, yo, dude, you look like you've been going ham for real. He's like, thanks, bro. Like, shit. And like every time I tune in on his stream, he started playing like Dance Dance Revolution. And then you got to talk to the item guy to get the Doom Rats.
I was gonna do the Doom Rats last.
Oh, you can just collect it from now, and they'll just show up.
All right.
Like later when you return.
All the items you could want, straight from the plate.
Hey there, Tifa. Welcome back. And you, the name Mercantown.
Hey,
for work,
fuck
right?
you, dude.
Yeah. In that case, maybe you could do something about the Doom Rats. Them and their
The fact that they gave this dude a clean fade, it's like
got into the store and made one hell of a mess. Let me tell you.
it's wild how much this dude. It's like hair is like mine.
Yeah, I know. He's got that heavy mohawk fade. Oh yeah, B-Type also adds in the cut content that you showed. Some of it. most of the cut content that I showed in that OG playthrough of Midgar is stuff made by Odie. Like, he composed those scenes by hand using cut content. So there is cut content in B-Type, but it is not. It is maybe 10% of the Shinra Arch's cut content mod.
Funny, do you? Don't lie. I saw you crack a smile. Well, do the job and you can laugh it up for all I care. Anyway, they're probably nesting in the outskirts. Now I've heard a were-rat in pain will call its friends for help. And the whole rat pack will come running just like that.
It's kind of sad that we're causing pain to these were-rats, you know? But hey,
rats.
They're rats.
It, mutating.
Yeah.
No matter your needs, some creepy dude. When I went to the store, they're putting them outside if they're gonna get dirty.
Me and my partner.
What canned goods when I get sick of?
Thinking I might join in.
And it's just this music is just playing the entire time, so it's just
Yeah.
it really does make it feel like the hub.
I know. The Sector 8 Platies. They call the upper plate people Platies as like a pejorative.
That's so like missable. I love that they added that.
Yeah.
Factory's off limits. Drakes have been spotted inside.
I just noticed, are those pickup trucks behind you the newer version of the one that Tifa drives?
Yeah.
In that case, be my guest.
We'll look
I
at it.
believe there's at least 2 groups lurking somewhere inside the factory. Find and cull them all.
Yeah.
The factory's open for business. There are monsters right?
Yeah. And they got the SHR license plates. All the SHR license plates are like functional vehicles, but there's the dilapidated ones all either don't have one, or they have the one from the OG just as a reference, which is just SH.
SHR. Sure is ready.
I remember being really upset at not being able to just walk through that and get that the first time. Oh man, deal. I'm not ever.
It's funny how that's wide open on Yuffie's like playthrough too.
Yeah, this area is way less grindy. The Shinra construction logo is very specific, and it shows up on every piece of equipment too. It's like they have really good branding. Like they really went all out with, like the Shinra logos are different depending on the department. And if it's like a piece of machinery, it's always going to have that one instead of another logo. Like they don't have to do that, but they do, you know?
Yeah, it's a good thing that like the devs like have people in there that actually like really care and like obsess over these little like to some people they might be like minor details, but it's what gives the world that feel that it's real.
Yeah. It makes it feel authentic and like a love letter to itself as
You asked for it.
Drake.
I'm waiting.
I love the aerial tracking is so much better with Tifa.
Yeah.
And that's
I
a
love that
big
she gets like so many air combos with the more higher chi level she's in.
Yeah. I love
Just-
in Rebirth though the new aerial combat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That felt great, and I wish I had some more time with it, because like I was starting to find some cool details with like certain like the different like moves that you could use in the air. Like triple slash is obviously good on ground and air.
Yeah.
But I wanted to like get comfortable using Tifa's reverse gale, which is like the aerial. It's like a wind melee attack she does in the air to continue or extend combos, and then ends it with a dive kick. I think I only pulled it off once, and the enemy died mid-air before the final hit, so I couldn't really see the full animation play out. But I think they definitely, like, between Yuffie and going into, like, Rebirth, they definitely figured out all the shit that they need to, like, implement and do to make the aerial combat as enjoyable as it should be.
Yeah.
Was never in doubt.
Cloud and his longtime friend, the Buster Sword.
Yes.
Yeah, we go way back. Oh, my head.
Yeah. Yeah, he's gonna start freaking out. I always get lost in this segment.
So you make a right.
There's a delay.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I gotta get the key.
Easy.
Press tap L2.
Here we go.
Yeah, there's
Always bring up,
a
like, the little
delay.
mini-map there.
There's a way delay because I already figured it out.
You're good.
Yes.
Told you so.
I love that the towns in Rebirth have a very advanced like map, like so much detail. Like compared to like if you press like L2 here, it brings up the little mini map.
Yeah.
And that it's just like a whatever like type of map, right? But like if you look at like how it looks like in the calm footage that they showed us, there's like color, the water shows up, the little edges that you can't walk on are there.
And those are details that really like they're kind of next gen. Like I know it's wild to think that, but you could not get away with that with PS4 hardware. Like mini maps that detailed are
absolutely
weirdly resource intensive, you know?
It's on you.
I got this.
Yeah, especially with how that like they have to keep it dynamic too.
Yeah.
Taking over. Deal with that.
Oh, let's go. Got a sting.
Deal with that.
That's it. Now.
It's also going to be interesting hearing the different character like dialogue after each fight.
Yeah.
Instead of Tifa's, I'll kill for a shower.
Locked up tight.
Yeah, that's right. That's the second one.
I wish they would let us grab the key.
I know. I just remember that you can't. Yeah.
Tifa, help him. Why she she was running away after he got grabbed.
That's a win.
I love this combat system so much. I feel like if future like Final Fantasies, like brand new ones like 17, 18, whatever come out, I would not be upset if they decided to like keep this type of system or make some advancements on it to kind of make it more different if possible.
Yeah, I mean they gotta
keep those gloves up.
Yeah, this is the thing that's closest to like a modern iteration of what you expect Final Fantasy's combat to be like. I get the point. I don't mind them rebooting, but it's just that 16 was so far of a departure that it felt like you're just playing Devil May Cry. And it did kind of, I hate to admit, but this just felt too perfect to get away from. Like, do other stuff, you know, to innovate in the next, you know, Final Fantasy mainlines. Anyways.
If the planet's a living being, we should. I think we all
have more people than you. Maybe we never should have moved after all.
Think we could get some money if we strip this thing? You want a piece of me? I'm not gonna let you sleep over.
I still can't believe that nice young girl who lived next door ran off in the night.
Probably with that punk boyfriend of hers.
She even stuck a note on the door saying, "Don't come looking for me."
This missing girl stuff is interesting.
Yeah, sweet young girl ran off with that good-for-nothing boy.
You have to treat them.
So if you come back later in the night, there's dialogue about it, and she was offered a job in Deep Ground.
Got something to say?
Yeah.
I'll see you at the bar later.
Yeah.
What chapter do you
That's
did you hear
4.
that back? Okay.
Yeah, that's which, you know, the last one.
Oh yeah, true, technically, because you do come back in like 10, but it's mostly Arab.
Everyone I know said they felt good, so they blew.
Yeah, the state of Sector 7 isn't perfect when Aerith is there.
Yeah, they got fathers running away from their kids.
Got rid of those drakes in the factory, did you? You're the real deal, all right. Keep it up.
Thanks, Mr. Happy.
As a merc in this town. I've worked with my fair share over the years, so believe me when I say that I know what I'm talking about. Anyway, you're needed over at the Pillar. Apparently another flying bastard stirring up trouble. Bet you can't get enough of this. Huh?
Well,
no, I get it. If you're good at something, might as well make it your living.
Yeah.
I may not know you, but I know a man who's found his calling when I see one. Keep at it. I switch out my stock every so often, so drop by when you're in the neighborhood, huh?
And the stock switching thing becomes weirdly and annoyingly relevant in Intermission when that guy exclusively sells stuff that you need for completion.
Yeah.
But only at certain times, and you have to clear quests to like change his loadout.
Yeah, there's a real inconsistent way too. It's like if you start up a Fort Condor match and then quit, sometimes he'll change the contents that he's selling. Like it could be HP absorb, MP absorb.
Nothing personal.
Oh really? That's a sweet tip. Damn.
Yeah. Sometimes it won't work if you do it on 2. You got to do like 3 Fort Condor quits in order to let it pop. But that's how I was able to manipulate him to get the rest of the material that he had. Hey Susie, how's it going?
Susie.
Finally managed to get those
Video. Video.
You're the greatest.
We're just doing side quests in the Tifa
I
chapter.
thought I might have to close up shop for good. Hey, got an idea. Hear me out. If the guy who took care of the town's rat problem told everybody where
That
he
hair
went to
is your
shop,
hair.
well, what do you
Yeah,
say?
in a much better state than
I'll
it is
make
right
worth
now.
your while, of course. Give you some incentive.
But I'm gonna get a haircut tomorrow.
I disagree.
And
I
I'm
think
gonna
your
cosplay
hair.
as that guy.
Oh, you need a. You need to see skin on the side. Is that the problem?
Yeah.
Okay then.
Because without the headphones kind of hides
Yeah.
the overgrown part right here.
Work in town in my little store. I can see it now. We're gonna clean up.
It's
I
weird.
need a
This
new
guy's
buzzer.
this guy's voice ages from like he sounds like a 20 something to like a 50 something when he says this last bit. And I feel like the voice actor like forgot which character he was playing. Because you know all the voice actors play like Matt Mercer did voices in this.
Yeah.
You know, like they all just that it's just there's like this voice actor thing where like they're all coming in lending voices and they don't always necessarily get credited, but it's fine, you know, like you just, hey, you happen to be in the studio, come here, I need one line, you know?
Or they
You
send it to their house and then they just tell them like just say this one line, or they finish some dialogue and they're like, oh, we actually need some more.
Yeah. And so that guy probably just got confused about his character.
Amazing merc who can handle
Ray Chase is in the entrance to Janktown. That's awesome.
So you want more of a challenge, huh?
I randomly run past Noctis and Sukuna.
Yes.
Thanks to the awesome new merc in town, everyone's favorite item shop is better than ever. Don't be a stranger. Drop on by your neighborhood item shop and check out our new expanded lineup. Some creepy dude.
So much character. Okay.
I never noticed he had an outside like worker or somebody like promoting the shop
Yeah.
from outside.
Yeah. She got a hype girl.
If it was me, I'd be like, hey, I want to buy some shit.
They're gonna step up their game. Are you ready for more, son? A
Yes.
certain shopkeeper told me you paid him a visit. Thanks for helping him out. Just so happens there's another job I'd like to offer you. Now that I know
Now
you
it's
can
time
handle
for
yourself
Moral's
all right.
other dog.
Yeah.
A real killer on the loose, you see. A rabid catch dog. Maybe you heard people talking about it.
No, I heard nobody talking about it.
Last sighting was in Scrap Boulevard. Think you're up to it?
I'll handle it.
You're a lifesaver. Doubt anyone else around here stands a chance. Go get him, bud.
Turk, are you in chat? If so, can you remind me what this says? Because this is that same symbol. And it says something about neighborhood watch, I think.
Let me use Google Lens. Hold it right there.
If he's in chat and he finds out you use Google Lens, I'd be so embarrassed.
Recruiting vigilantes.
Okay. All right. Yeah. That's
But
it.
actually, it says something back. Come on. You protect your city by recruiting vigilante members. To protect the city by something along those lines.
Nice.
Connect happiness to tomorrow. That is so bad.
Yeah, and you see the symbol here too, above the door.
Oh, yeah.
We're just not allowed to go in there because they didn't want to render it. That's work, you know?
Yeah, that's actually the missing area too, underneath the sectors, underneath the seventh heaven.
Yeah, they're connected
It
through
leads
a
to there.
Yeah, through a portal. What's up, dog?
No more playing.
This dog's second phase killed everybody.
Gotta give it my all.
Such a beautiful limit break.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
Love pausing the animation when the dolphin comes out.
He's got an
using,
HP
like,
gate.
photo mode.
Yeah, he does have the same eyes. He's the same dog, dude. You're right. Your headcanon is correct. It's the same color eyes, just veinier. This is a vascular version of Marl's dog.
Telling you, bro. It was either cloned or she had a second one that went missing.
Yeah.
That should be like a subtle detail they just insert into somewhere in some canon story.
Dude, they do stuff like that though. Like, I mean, like oh, I don't have access to intergrades, but like Heretic Rayleigh, like the Diabolic Creation, like the lore behind that is so deep, you know?
I remember you made a video talking about that, right?
Sleep Easy did, yeah.
Thanks, Weimer.
Yeah.
Here I go.
Right behind you. It's on you.
Nothing personal. Now. Sloppy.
We don't
Grim
got
has
time for combat. It's so silly that they didn't name it Slim Hazard.
Yeah.
Nothing personnel. Hi, Slipeasy. Yeah, we had to kill that dog's brother.
Did you? Phew, we owe you one.
Or Marl's other dog
I've never seen a Shinra
that she
reborn
doesn't know
before.
of.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, when exactly did it show up?
Oh, today.
Also, why are there Shinra breeds? You know? It's because it's damp.
First reports came in just this morning.
That's
Why
a
do you
good
ask?
point.
Wait a minute. There's this crazy story about a Shinra research
The stamp
lab
division
hidden right
will
beneath
never
the
recover
street
from
of
this.
the slums.
Really? That's news to me.
And here I thought you might know something I don't.
You know what's wild is that even if that were Zack and not Cloud standing there, Zack probably doesn't know about Deep Ground because Deep Ground was kept a secret from a lot of Soldier.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not.
And also Zack didn't know how magic works. So
Yeah. Oh yeah. Also, Zack is an idiot.
You got the best.
Yeah.
That's good enough for me.
Yeah. There's that
remember
too.
after me and Susie played the demo that we played in Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about the dialogue where like Cody is speaking for Zack.
Yeah.
The way Susie said it was so funny. She's like, "What a dork! Like magic sure is weird."
A lot of good things about you lately.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so well done.
It was a real Zack line, you know. Arguably done better than Zack does some of his lines.
How does materia let you cast spells exactly? You insert the knowledge of the planet into you.
Yes. Pick where you want it inserted. It doesn't really matter. Like, not picky at all, you know?
Yeah.
All
Having
right.
children did it kind of wild. Like they were shoving that shit in their like their wrists and forearms.
Yeah. Absorbing it and yeah.
If the planet's a living...
Seriously? Tifa, you
Gwen.
Unfortunately, Gwen has the worst like lip syncing.
Yeah.
two clowns refuse to get off their butts and do anything about it.
Yeah.
Hey,
We actually know her. She's the
Yeah,
VA.
I've seen
She's
her
very
around
sweet.
the community and
Yeah.
stuff.
She's very cool. She's also a big fan of Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
Plays 14.
Find one inside one of the crates. I forget which. Just smash them all.
She living the dream, baby. They got to give her another role in Rebirth and fix her and actually do her lip sync justice because her lines were good.
God, I hate this place.
They need you to go all the way around.
Yeah. Yeah, and like somebody put the key
Don't hold back.
in a crate in the last 15 minutes, you know, since I was last
And
here.
they restacked all the crates in here.
Would kill for a shower.
This is obviously not the best material loadout for this chapter, but I'm just gonna win, so it doesn't matter.
You're a winner, baby.
It's just doing an overpowered ass run.
OP, that's me.
Mm-hmm. That's you. Okay, no. Okay, it's through the middle thing. Okay, yeah. I got it. I remember now. From here, go here, do the thing.
Oh snap! Look at you.
It's not quite Strangers of Paradise maps, but
true.
Just like that, okay?
I gotcha.
There's a chapter that I always get lost in. It's I think it's chapter 5 or 6. When you're above.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6.
I gotta watch how like speedrunners clear that. I feel like I would have to like spend like at least a solid like day learning that map.
Just
get ready.
That is actually, I think speedrunners do burn up like almost as much time as the drum on that one, if I recall correctly.
Wild.
I know.
Focus.
I also love how in this version of the game they changed the way that wind magic works.
Yeah.
It actually sticks to them. It's like sticky wind.
I think he might be okay.
Watch yourself.
I got this. Keep it together.
I got you. Good luck.
Hang back.
Still wondering if you use dynamic difficulty from the start of the game. I think I'm going to.
Oh, I will.
Because I'd hate to like, cause like I know me as a person, and in RPGs I tend to like over level and just do extra shit.
For sure.
Yeah, and it would just be like annoying if I get to a point where I'm like 1 or 2 levels higher and everything's dying in one hit.
Yeah.
There he is. I knew you were the right man for the job. There's no denying you're the real deal. Not like these idiots with their excuses. Rather have one of you than 20 of them.
They're just doing their jobs. Can't expect them to be at your beck and call.
What exactly is it you're trying to say, Merc?
You need people who can follow orders, too.
I see now. Heard you were ex-Shinra. Guess I shouldn't be surprised you'd go to bat for your old buddies. Me, I'm just looking out for my people. All there is to it.
It feels like I played some kind of
We can take care of this town
trivia
ourselves.
game
No more mercs or
with this
Shinra.
actress.
We'll build up the watch and kick you all out.
Yes.
Is that, were you with me?
No.
Okay.
I was with you in the one after that. I think when me and you did it, it was like December.
Really
Yeah.
impressed with what you've done. Keep it up, and you'll have enough work to keep you fed for a lifetime.
I love that Tifa says that
Yeah.
right there after this lady just like yells at him.
Yeah.
Where do we get paid?
Yeah.
Yeah, but why don't we head back to the apartments first? Take a quick breather.
Yes, let's take a quick breather. That lesson,
Got it? Anyway, let's go.
Kama Sutra, page 45.
Oh yeah. You know, my mind just got blown. We didn't do the Johnny quest.
No, you can do
And
that
Discovery
after.
still popped.
You can do that after Discovery.
Nice. I didn't realize Johnny's interaction wasn't a side quest thing.
No, and it's super important. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like it's kind of a hint at where I think things are going.
Word is you got rid of our oversized rat problem.
Got new numbers for monster slaying this month.
Someone's back awful early. Not that I mind. Would you two be dears and swap your filters out for me? I left them in your rooms.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Not so fast, you. Do me a
That, so I've listened to that line of dialogue, the sure thing that Tifa just says, and I don't know what it was, but it has to be like the sole piece of her dialogue that was recorded in like a car or like a wind tunnel. Like, you can pull the audio files and listen to all the dialogue if you want, and that it's like she's in a tin can.
favor. She needs a friend. A real friend.
One of the extra pieces they did towards the end.
Yeah, we'll fix that in post. The COVID line.
Talks. Are you really listening?
Yes.
And her feelings?
Marl teaching you how to
Or are
listen.
you just going through the motions? Go on.
I love how quick they came
Let's
around.
take care of this real quick, okay?
Sure.
Come over when you're done.
Hell yeah.
Get it, boy. All right.
Say less.
You changed the filter. You're now sepia tone.
No more egg water.
Give me 1 sec. I'll be done in a bit.
Oh yeah.
So if you go from this side, you can't read the CDs, right?
You still can't, no. But something interesting is that earlier when it was nighttime and I if you free cam over here, this is not a window and there are no blinds. It's a different wall texture. I don't know why.
Probably couldn't load. Were those curtains there too or no?
These curtains are here.
Finally.
Probably loading purposes.
Yeah. It's only when the daytime map spawns.
After you left the village, I let you off the hook before, back at the hall, but not this time.
I love the song transition.
Yeah.
When we were kids,
Made me feel like I just
everybody
booted up my
wanted to be a
PS4.
soldier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember they were on the news every day during the war.
Thing is, by the time I finally made it in, they didn't need heroes anymore. It was nothing like what we dreamt of. It was just working for Shinra. Just
What's complex about his answer here is that he's never telling a lie, and everything that he's saying refers to both his real life and Zach's. Because Zach had those feelings too after the war.
It was like the conversation they had in the inn in Nibelheim.
not exactly small talk, especially with someone you haven't seen in a while.
I get it. Still, it's kind of funny. Us going our separate ways, thinking that must be it. That we'd never meet again. And then here, of all places, we do. You know what? We should totally celebrate. Let's dress up and hit the town.
Really?
I mean, why not? It'll be fun.
The body language when she asks and he says really, it's still, she's still being optimistic, you know. They zoned her out, but she's still being optimistic, but her arms crossed because she's like, she was vulnerable, and then she does this thing where she crosses her arms over her belly, you know, because it's like she still did put herself out there and there was rejection. So she's like going against kind of some of her nature to try and bring Cloud out of what she can tell is this
Yeah.
weird fugue state.
Fancy clothes?
She's like really invested in it,
But I'll figure something out.
and you get that.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would suit me?
Remember they changed this? Yeah.
Yeah. Mature.
Yeah. So I'm gonna let you choose for me.
My favorite has always been the sporty dress, the Chun-Li.
Something sporty?
I don't think that'd be so different from my usual. Be sure to pick an outfit that goes with mine, okay?
Will do.
And we're getting outfits for Cloud.
This is gonna be so much
You know?
fun. You'll see.
Yeah.
At least one.
Yeah,
They always trip me up
maybe.
because when I first played this, I was like, oh, cool. They added like a...
I think it's time we headed back.
It wasn't clicking to me. Like, this is referring to the dresses later on in Chapter 9. I was thinking like, oh, there's an extra segment where we get to go out on town and like maybe...
Marl isn't always right, you know.
I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Little zoom in.
Stage direction on the cutscene's so good. Best in the series, by far. By far.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they purposely,
with dialogue,
purposely
yeah.
pick up on all the subtleties, but they don't overdo it in a way where it's kind of like obvious.
We're gonna head back to the bar now.
Like when Tifa said, huh, earlier.
You're looking pretty chipper.
I don't feel that different.
Must be my imagination then.
Marl, what are you trying to imply?
Anyway, keep your wits about you, Merc. A token of my appreciation. Be good to her.
She thought she heard the bed squeaking.
Mm-hmm.
Maintaining surveillance. So they blew
The
up
kid
on
is
the
still
outskirts.
spying.
More like they want us to give up recording. Was thinking I might chat up Marl myself. She knows a lot about life and love. And thanks for dealing with that filthy animal.
Those numbers don't make sense. 725. It was 680. He didn't kill 40 plus enemies.
I did not.
Word is you got rid of our oversized rat problem.
I've been told the sewage smells got
Yeah, we should ask for our money back.
Pipe nearby must have burst. Everyone's worked up the
One and only Merc of the slums.
That the childhood friend from out of town I heard about?
I also love
Yeah.
the change in everybody's demeanor towards Cloud here.
Yeah. Yeah, this dialogue is my favorite.
Hey, Tifa, baby. I'll see you at the bar later.
Is that the childhood friend from out of town I heard about? Look, you son of a bitch grew up with her. Screw him. I know.
You got something to say?
No, definitely white or maybe red.
Black's what you want. Trust me, it's magic. Hides all the stains.
How do I become a merc like you?
So hilarious.
Yeah.
I didn't know they kept it up. I thought it was only nighttime when you first come in. Did they say that?
I hope he's okay.
Stay away from me!
Johnny!
It's Yoni Kage.
Get off me, assholes! I didn't do shit!
I like the Johnny theme here.
Screw you!
What's going on?
Somebody went and stole some blasting native from a Shinra warehouse. So public security started asking questions, and you know how John
I love how Jesse basically said,
Yeah.
fuck this guy.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but something tells me they're not gonna settle for just roughing him up this time.
We've got to save him, Cloud.
It's crazy that that's Spider-Man, yeah.
He doesn't really know what we do, but he has his suspicions, and he's a talker. Actually, you know what? Maybe I should go.
How would you know, Tifa?
I'm coming.
What
Yeah.
has he talked about before?
Are you sure?
It's the least I can do. Lead on.
Hey, come on.
He needs to get his act together. At it again.
Think Johnny's gonna have a fiance that looks like Tifa and Casa de Sol?
Tifo.
Tifa.
Tila. It looks like your forger in Street Fighter. Like
that's
some
not bad.
discount version.
The animated one, not
Yeah.
the actual skin.
Come on. Let's get a closer look.
Any way to treat a model citizen of Midgard?
Man, great, your voice.
Model citizens don't steal blasting agent. So why don't you tell me why your ID popped when we were going over the warehouse law?
You got it all wrong.
Poor Johnny. Jesse just threw under the bus. Well,
I swear. All he had to do was keep his mouth shut.
Yep.
Anyway, you distract the officers and I'll figure
Yep.
something
So when do we kill him?
yeah, so when does he die?
This cutthroat version of Cloud is so interesting.
It's really
Let him go.
Who are you? The cavalry?
really an acceleration.
Yeah, between this scene and the Reno scene.
Yeah.
You guys really came to save me!
There's so much less stability. And it really, I think it does come down to Sephiroth's increased taunting, you know?
Putting him on edge for sure.
So, is it over? Yo, anybody there?
Johnny, so we
If
can
you're
get out
there,
of
then help me.
I love how the blindfold never comes off.
He's a talker.
Whoa, whoa.
No.
You're not gonna. Don't do it, man.
You want to live? Then get the hell out of town.
You got it, boss. You ain't never gonna see my face again. I swear.
That was a lie.
Sure about this?
It's like
It's a big
20
risk.
minutes later.
I know, but
It's a few
It's
chapters
fine.
later, but still.
And it's multiple times. You even get a side quest from him.
Mhm.
Twice.
no more.
She's closing her fist too when she says no more. It's the same way that she closes her fists after Platefall. You know, it's like where she
Yeah.
has this resolve of like, I'm just tired of the violence. Like she's the one that shows conflict, I think, the most on her sleeve. And it's great, honestly.
That's a big theme with her character.
Uh-huh.
It's like she knows that they need to do these things, but she's
You're
just, like
scaring me.
struggling to find a better way.
I definitely think that this scene, along with what happens with Reno,
Before they wake
is
up.
something to really look out for going into Rebirth. Is in the OG, there was this level of like, hey, there's this incredibly unstable person underneath is a divergence from the original characterization, and it seemingly has a cause, and the Whispers have to get involved with Reno, but here it's Tifa, you know, and it's preventing Cloud from straight up murdering, you know, innocents. And I think if we see an acceleration to his fall, or we see things that really show like a stark break in his character earlier, it's because the stark contrast in his quote unquote fall from grace will be deviant as well in the coming chapters.
Especially given the fact that
I'm more worried about us.
the Whispers
right?
don't seem to be.
What?
It's just
I'm gonna say it after this dialogue.
Yeah.
really changed.
How?
I suppose it's your eyes. They used to be less.
It's the Mako.
And I love this too. It's this, he responds concretely. Like, my eyes are different because they're a different color. And what she's using is emotional language. She's about to say something like less murdery, you know, like she notices a different, you know.
Remember?
I remember. Right. Back to the bar.
She's doing a really good job talking with him. I would have snapped.
Yeah. Bro, you almost just killed my friend. You know.
If that was the case, we should have just let Shinra do it.
Who's this dog? I get it. It's just there's dogs. These are Shinra dogs. One of them wandered. Okay. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Headcanon destroyed.
Damn it. That one, he's looking for something to eat with that guy in the trash can. Damn.
Telling you, man, it's fire.
Best song in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. And then just knifey guy. Just stabby McStab face guy over here.
Weird how he didn't have a scratch on him.
I'm just chilling in the cut. You want to cut?
And he talks and you never hear any words. He's like you see his lips
are
moving.
moving.
Yeah. I know. Here's another stamp graffiti.
Oh, yeah.
More
yeah.
Benora. Here's Johnny's mom.
My son suddenly told us that he was going to leave town. Oh, tell me it isn't true. He can't survive out there on his own.
And then Johnny's father.
Boy up and declared he was leaving
I love
town
talking to
going
this
on
guy.
a journey.
Yeah.
We only live once. I say while he's young, he should follow
Johnny's
his
mom
heart,
can kind of get it,
even if
though.
it means defying
Yeah,
the
but
man.
Johnny's
But
father.
only get you so far.
Yeah, no.
He's not built for monogamy.
Chance to
Yeah.
introduce myself yet. I'm Johnny's father. I'm
Hi.
sure you're terribly worried about him too, aren't you, Tifa? That's my boy. I'll have to remember to tell him that when he finally comes back home.
He's gonna tell his horn dog son, hey, Tifa was asking for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's a headstrong boy, so once he puts his mind to something, he always follows through. For better or worse, I suppose.
My favorite bit of Johnny lore is that he opens a bar called Johnny's Heaven in Edge.
My son suddenly told us that he was going to leave town.
That's
Oh, tell me
so
it
good. I
isn't
didn't
true.
know that. I just read somebody said, does anyone's mom in this game does anyone have a mom in here that doesn't wear an apron?
Oh my god. That's the symbol of matronhood. As soon as you give birth, you have to wear an apron.
Forever for the rest of your life.
Unless you're a Falna.
That's mom.
Unless you're a Falna, that's why she died. That's they're like
Actually,
the
Cloud's
world.
mom was wearing one too.
I think Claudia is. Isn't Scarlet a mom? She's mommy, but I don't think she's ever. Yeah, she's a mommy. She's a Dami mommy. That's different.
And here we are. You must be tired.
Same as you, I guess.
Could use a little something to take the edge off, right? How about a refreshing cocktail made by yours truly that you can sit back and savor?
Tifa.
Yeah, I'm feeling it a bit too. Hey, do you think you'll stick around a little longer?
Maybe. Work for a minute. Build up some savings.
I see. So, what'll it be? Want to head back out for a little while?
No.
We've done everything we needed to do, Tifa.
We're back.
Hey, what were you guys doing down there?
Have fun?
Lots of fun.
They live down there. Marlene and Barrett. That's where they sleep.
Right now? Then the plan is...
Marlene, wanna go wait for Jesse out front?
Okay.
Looks like we're officially on for tomorrow night then. Gotta go over the details with the others.
Before you do, about my pay.
You'll get your money. So sit down and shut up until we're finished. Double time, Tifa.
There, it's so cold here.
I know. I love that the triple sevens or the 6-7s is the code to get down there.
I'm really sorry, but it shouldn't take much longer. In the meantime, grab a seat. What'll it be?
Something hard.
Always.
That feels like the most canon answer to me. Like it feels like the answer that Cloud would choose.
Yeah, and they cleverly put it in between something soft.
Yeah. I think. Yeah. I love the branding, Final Heaven, and in the high-res mod you can actually make out that the drink says, oh, you can see it here. Established 1997.
Wow.
That's cool. Circa 1997. So.
That's so good.
I know. A good detail.
And it's yellow?
Yeah.
Well, most people would say something sweet right about now.
I'm sure they would.
But you're a more discerning customer, aren't you? In which case...
Her banter is good.
When did she mix that?
How special.
Don't worry about it.
Canyon.
They just got it sitting on the bar waiting.
Beautiful.
Smooth. Smooth.
Bite.
Yeah.
Cloud's like thinking to himself, yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I did it. WWZD is what he's thinking. What he doesn't know, is that Zach would flub that hard.
The reactor bombing was the work of the eco-extremist group
Like the
Avalanche.
dweeb he is.
Yeah.
Enemy number one. Gets your heart racing, doesn't it? They don't know our faces, so we're in the clear for now. But we'll want to capitalize on this momentum. Speaking of which, you coming on the next one?
For the right price.
Oh, you can bet I'll be pushing hard for a raise. Tifa will be joining us too, but I don't know. Even a blind man can see her heart's not in it. She was never on board with the bombings. So if it comes down to do or die, if I've got to put my life in someone else's hands, I'd rather that someone was a professional. Like you.
Logical shade, logical shade.
Yeah, yeah. It is weird though. You do find out they are really good friends. You know, like
yeah.
And it is kind of like, is there more
Well, it's
to
an
it
honest
than
answer.
That? Yeah, it's an honest answer. But it's also, I think, does she also not want Tifa to get hurt? You know.
She feels that way too later on. She's like, oh no, Tifa's crying.
Okay, we got to do one dart round. Just for
New Dart. Are you a New Dart fan?
A New Dart fan? What? New
It's
Dart.
a How I Met Your Mother reference.
It
Like,
is.
instead of like
Okay.
New Dart?
I got
Chill a bit.
I got distracted by the New Dart thing. Okay, let's grab it. I don't need to get perfect. I know I'm telling myself that in my head as we speak, but just, oh man. Okay. I gotta at least get the first one, or I'm gonna lose my mind. I'm usually so good at this.
Hit the triple 20.
I'm telling you, I hit.
They robbing my boy.
Yeah. No, we're just gonna do. We're gonna do.
Bullseye.
Oh no. Okay, we're fine.
Let's get it. Yeah, Lion Guard said, I do see a lot of presumably drunken misses around that board. See all the darts to the left and right.
Okay, I feel good about that. I honestly don't care. Yes.
How the hell was that on 18?
It was definitely.
Dang, that was so close. The 2 pixel. Perfect.
Heavenly Dart player. Okay. All right. Finally, or we sit down. Yeah.
I had something I was going to say about Tifa earlier, and I completely forgot it. It was right after the stopping Cloud from Suicide. Oh, yeah, I was saying It's gonna be interesting to see now that the Whispers aren't directly influencing much or anything in Rebirth.
Mhm.
How exactly will people be stopping Cloud from wanting to just end people's life?
You can tell that was a rough conversation because she has to come take a drink.
Yep. Took a shot and poured some water.
And she sits one away.
I heard you're having second thoughts.
I know we have to think big if we're going to make a difference, but not like this.
Yeah.
I feel trapped.
If it feels wrong, don't do it.
The body language is so good.
If it feels wrong, don't do it. It's like a from the heart, almost out of character statement from him.
Guess that's that then.
What, they kick you out?
We agreed to disagree. So, you want another drink?
Tifa, time to celebrate. Break out all the good stuff.
Sure.
We won't be needing you for this next job. Feel free to look for work elsewhere.
Fine by me. That's how I like it. No contract, no obligation.
Figured you'd say that. Here, the rest of your payment, along with a little extra for your exemplary service. And thus concludes our business. Gonna have to ask you to leave now. This here's a private affair.
They don't even let him stay for the party.
I know. And
So-
Barrett's so cold. Like when you go up and talk to him, he's like, when the job's done, we're done. Your words exact.
So seeing the little whisper too, because when you hear this, you're like, especially if it hasn't been recent since you played the OG, you're like, wait, this isn't right. You know, is it? Did I forget something? Then you see the whisper and you're like, why is it different? And it is weird that it's different. You know, and there isn't like a clear explanation for why he didn't. Maybe something gets revealed in the script.
Yeah,
Okay.
the Whispers are on standby. They know that they got to do something.
Well, it's to let us know that, you know, normally he does get invited here. So
yeah.
We didn't want to put so much on you. This is our fight.
Jesse, what's the holdup?
Be right there. No hard feelings.
It's fine.
Let's talk more after I'm done here, okay?
Really, it's fine.
Come on, Jesse, I'm dying here.
I'll catch you later. Sorry to keep you thirsty boys waiting.
So this is our first look at the faded chip bag, too. So this is where we see Champs Champs.
Damn, Biggs. Slow down.
Keep it tight.
Barrett's favorite
Ain't
flavor.
no room for error come tomorrow.
More reason to live it up now.
This is the signature Beagle Stamp Champs.
It's been too long since we did this.
Not since we went on that all-night bender.
And then there's also
You gave
popcorn.
us the boot.
Unrelated.
They did not give us...
It was an amicable separation.
Just thinking about it's making me mad again.
And then here we see the backside of the same one.
Already been a year. I don't know how we managed.
Original.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was you guys going above and beyond.
I love that. So
Yeah.
subtle.
No need for
Original.
Yeah, trying to let us know.
Yeah, but
Don't take this the wrong way, but right
What was
now,
the flavor on the terrier bag?
Sorry, you were saying?
The flavor on the terrier bag, it's original also.
Even crazier.
Yeah.
okay. What were we talking about?
So long as someone looks out for my...
But he was afraid we'd lean on you too much if we took you along. So, where'd we leave off? Tifa's got you covered there.
As a friend.
Can't expect anyone but a true believer to stand tall if everything goes sideways. Oh, my bad. Continue.
As if you really gotta ask.
Could get pretty dicey out there. Oh, my bad. Continue. Little guy.
Let me talk to Wedge.
I guess it is kind of obvious.
You know, it'd be really cool if we could
I
do
never
this
actually sat
again.
and listened to
I'd
their
offer
entire
to share,
conversation.
But, you know, where were we?
Oh, we will. Avalanche.
Avalanche! You heard him. It's
What's the calorie count on that bad boy? 97.
Yeah, dude.
You guys.
Oh, what? Who are these miscreants?
Word is he lives in this town. Just shut up and wait. We'll
I'm
find
destroy
Dude.
your stuff, dude.
The song, the way that they move.
Guess that's why we're paid so damn much.
What are you looking at?
We got a problem? What?
Hey, brother. You from around the way?
I guess.
No big man with a big gun strapped to his right arm? Heard he set up shop somewhere in the neighborhood.
This is the fucking coolest thing. This is the coolest secret bro move Cloud does here.
Pens.
Ah, clever. Smell an opportunity to make some scratch to you.
500.
200.
3.
Whatever, man.
After he just got rejected by Barrett, too.
Walk with me.
Got something to say?
Yeah, the music switch is great.
The way they walk
Yeah.
cracks me up.
Yeah.
So in unison.
Look at all these assholes.
And everybody like recognizes them too.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh no. All the Corneo thugs have anal bead walks.
Don't piss off my real sorry.
Unless you got some kind of death wish.
That's a requirement.
Yeah.
After you, brother. And don't worry, I ain't the backstabbing type. Most days.
Counterpoint. Hey, I found your YouTube channel yesterday. I'm just loving these detailed nuance recaps. Your knowledge is so in depth. I haven't played FF7 since I was a kid. Hey, thank you so much. Just finished the Ghost Train section. Awesome. Yeah, you'll finish and then I'll be catching up. Sounds great. Thank you so much for being here.
I told you before.
That's so awesome. Welcome, Counterpoint.
Oh yeah? You wasted my time.
Shinra's time, you mean?
Oh, damn.
Got
Shinra
him.
knows better than to stick its nose in my boss's business.
This is the coolest Cloud gets. He's like I give a shit? No.
I'll end this. All right.
And part of it is because he, like every version of him, like at his core, hates Shinra. Like, he hates Shinra. The memories he stole from Zack isn't super fond of Shinra. Sephiroth hates Shinra. And even the ideas that he gathered from Tifa hates Shinra. Like, he hates Shinra. And he smells that they're like, you know, Shinra plants, and he's not willing to sell out Barrett. And so he lures him. It's badass.
Yeah, it's a very, very bro move by Cloud. Got your back. Anybody but Shinra. He just straight murdered them.
If they weren't Shinra, then not my problem. Lesson 1 for life on the ground.
But not hard
floor.
enough.
Get some rest.
Yeah, and
he takes a lesson from the beginning of the chapter.
Yeah, that's right. Full circle. And he doesn't even like go tell Barrett like, "Hey, I just killed these dudes for you. Please let me on the mission." He just does it thanklessly.
Yeah, I wonder if the Whispers would have interfered if he tried.
Probably.
Because then they would have got an idea of like Corneo's planning something.
Welcome home, honey. Took your sweet time. Psych.
Psych is super cheeseball, but it is so 90s. Like, I will admit that it matches like the chic of the era. Not my favorite, but it's appropriate.
Are you gonna let me in so we can talk in private?
Because let's face it, the 90s were cringe.
But those are the best types of cringe.
I know. Am I looking forward to Roche? Hell yeah.
Of course.
What have you got there?
An apology for not getting you on.
Oh, that's right. New game, it changes
Yeah.
it to green material.
Yeah, it's red in the OG in the first playthrough.
A proposition.
Nailed it in one. Gonna have to ask you to keep all this a secret from the others, though. It's a personal matter. Something I need to sort out tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight. You and me, together. I want you to come with me to the Sector 7 plate. I'll give you the details on the way.
That's fine by me. But don't you have a pretty big day ahead of you?
I do, but if I don't deal with this now, it's only gonna get harder. Anyway, I can count on you, can't I? A down payment.
The music that plays during that dialogue, it's the iconic Sector 7 slums, you know, like the Midgar slum song, because it's really like really perfect feeling for how Jessie kind of feels about the whole situation, and she's being all cheery and Jessie-esque, but that music is playing, and it's a great combo.
Yeah. I remember seeing this scene and being so intrigued. Like, what? This is new?
Yeah.
What are we going to do here? And just like, it was so cool to see that whole segment play out in the following chapter. But man, time really flew. Look at that. It was a 3-hour stream.
Yeah. So that's it for the chapter play. However, that's not it for us.
Yes, sir. We got the Ultimania.
We're going to do a recap of the retrospective put together by Sunil, and then we're going to read the voice scripts, which won't take long, and then we're calling it. So
nice. I actually have to be somewhere in about at 7:30.
Okay.
So I'll start to wrap up in about an hour.
Okay. We have 20 minutes left.
Sure.
Okay. So we are now reading Home Sweet Slum, and this has got some great dev questions in it, but it is
I remember
spoilery.
these.
Yeah. And here we go. So we'll start off the bat. Here's a question to Toriyama. How was Tifa's introduction scene decided on? Was it important to make a strong first impression on the player? We felt it was important to show that the Sector 7 slums are Avalanche's home ground, and to relieve the tension after the reactor bombing mission by having Tifa and Marlene waiting for everyone to arrive back in 7th Heaven. The thinking was that this situation would highlight Tifa's kindness as a character. She's the only childhood friend that Cloud can open up about his true feelings to. We made it that you only see a certain unguarded aspect of his personality when he is interacting with her. We talked about that too. That's totally true.
And I did feel that way. Like when you first get that glimpse of her and they're sitting on the steps, it's like warm. Like, it makes you feel like, oh shit, I'm home. I feel good.
Yeah, 100%. In the original FF7, you can visit the area under 7th Heaven, but this was removed for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Is there a reason for it? In Chapter 3, this is a great question because like all of us were like, oh no! In Chapter 3, Cloud is more distant from the Avalanche members than he was in the original game. So we made it that he was not allowed into their underground hideout. Having group meetings that only full Avalanche members are invited to and Cloud being left out, the celebration of the successful bombing mission, etc., depicted the loneliness of his situation. However, there's more to the story, as during development, we actually planned for a section between Chapter 8 and Chapter 9 where the player-controlled Tifa could experience the events leading up to her infiltrating Don Corneo's wife auditions. That section would have featured the inside of the Avalanche base. It was developed to a point where the section was joined up and playable, but we were concerned about having a separate story as an interlude after Cloud falls from Reactor 5 and is reunited with Aerith, and the church would damage the tempo of the storytelling. So we ultimately decided to remove that part. I think it would be great to show Tifa's side of the story if we get a chance at some point. So
we all thought we were getting DLC.
Yeah, like it made sense that would be DLC because we see 7th Heaven in the DLC and in the trailers and stuff, and we see even like Avalanche members talking. And I don't know where they'll put that, like in an ultimate remastered version of all three, or where. But it's funny that they want to do it. Ever Crisis was an opportunity, but they didn't. So
yeah.
But again, it's highlighting that like it was intentional to have Cloud be more distant from Avalanche than in the original. So this is confirmed, from both these developers. That was to both Toriyama and Hamaguchi.
Yeah, they really nailed that feeling.
Yeah. Why is there a photo of 7th Heaven from the original FF7 on the wall of 7th Heaven and FF7 Remake? We put it up as an Easter egg for fans. So I think part of the reason they're saying that is because it did fuel like sequel theories. Like, oh, is this because of time travel? And this is Hamaguchi just being like, no, Easter egg, bro. Can you tell us anything about Marco, and particularly his backstory and how he came to have the number 49 tattooed on him? And Toriyama says the Black Cloak figures are all victims of extreme Mako poisoning and are scattered around the world. Rather than focus on the individual identities, they present the overall image of a mysterious group. Going forward, there will be more Black Cloak figures, Black Cloak characters appearing than in the original, who will reveal more details of their predicament. Another thing to note about Black Cloak figures that's different than, or not different, but expanded upon in remake lore is in Picturing the Past, which is a short story written by Nojima that was in the World Preview book, is it explains that reunion clones are special in that it's not just that they have Mako poisoning, they also have reunion cells in them, which are Sephiroth's like S cells, essentially. So it was the reunion project or the reunion experiments are different than Soldier. And what Hojo specifically meant to do is he would implant Genova cells or S cells that are related to Sephiroth into people with Mako poisoning to make these clones. So it's both of those things are necessary for reunion clones or rogue clones to exist. And that is something you could kind of draw from the lore, but wasn't explicitly stated until picturing the past. So they're part of Hojo's specific experiences, and maybe why they take a little bit more of a zombie fugue-like state, and why they all end up being 6'6" and looking like Sephiroth is because they were already Mako poisoned. So it's a weird qualifier, but it is canon now. Was there ever any concern that adding side quests during main story missions of FF7 Remake and how these might affect the overall pacing of the game? We did not have any particular concerns about adding side quests. However, we did have a clear idea of what purpose they would be from the start. They would not be compulsory for progressing through the game. They would shine a spotlight on the citizens of the slums to dig deeper into the world, and the quest completion status would bring about changes to the costumes in Walmart.
Those are their objectives?
Yeah, right off the bat. So new stories were written for individual quests, particularly from the perspective of Point 2, meaning shining spotlight on the slum residents. And from what I have seen, the fans responded well to that.
Yeah. I mean, the memes and stuff for the cats or whatever,
Yeah.
but like in general, the quest did a good job at expanding on the area, the characters, and Tifa teaching Cloud lessons and so.
Yeah. It's more. I think I felt the most arduousness from them when I had to do them 3 times.
Yeah, the costumes things was fucked up.
Yeah, because you have to make a choice 3 different times, and the only way to get that discovery is by doing all the set. Was there any?
Somebody actually a real quick thing. Somebody had told me to speed up that trophy. The fastest thing you can do is skip all those side quests in Chapter 3, because by default it'll give you Tifa's sporty dress.
Oh, well, good to know.
Yeah, so you just move on to the other ones and do it that way.
All right. This is not something that was. So, were there any original quests that were in this chapter that were cut? If so, why? This is not something that was deleted, but when we were discussing the content for the side quests in Sector 7 Slums, one suggestion was to have a request from one of Hojo's assistants who had been dispatched by Shinra. The idea for a character was adopted into the game and incorporated as part of the overall system, eventually becoming Chadley. So,
the greatest character in the game.
Yeah. Why was the decision made to increase the importance Johnny has in the storyline of FF7 Remake? Was he originally planned to have a larger role in the original FF7? When making the original FF7, the game designers were free to populate the various towns with NPC characters like Johnny, and it just so happens that I created Johnny myself. But the same thing happened with many of the distinctive NPCs such as Shinra Manager and Andrea, giving them more emphasis as sub-characters in the remake. So there's Toriyama. We love the darts minigame. How did this come to life? Were there any other candidates for minigames that never quite made it into FF7 Remake? The darts match was more than just a minigame and also plays a part of the story. In the events before and after the darts match, we needed to have Cloud taken out of the plot to bomb Reactor 5 to create a sense of his isolation from Avalanche. We aimed to have the player experience this firsthand with a playable section where Cloud is off having a lonely time while the other Avalanche members are together in their strategy room. In terms of minigames that were rejected, this also relates to the answer of question 2, as we did consider having a punching bag on the wall of the underground hideout, which Tifa could train with. Oh, that would have been fun.
Come on, man.
I know.
I would have loved that. And then that would also would have played into the scene where Barrett, after Cloud tells him, I forgot what Cloud tells him exactly in the OG, but Barrett gets triggered and just starts going ham on the punching bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
And knocks Biggs out.
In the scene where Tifa mixes in a cocktail, were the motions of her using the shaker captured by a motion actor? What were the challenges? We started out with various different motions as possible candidates to use in the scene, but discussed it with actors during the MC recordings and decided to have the animator tweak the performance to bring out Tifa's personality more, but also have a feeling of realism. We did many retakes, and it would have been triggered to capture flashy motions like throwing the shaker in the air, spinning around before catching on, so we kept it down to just throwing it in the air. All right. Chapter 3 sees the player unlock weapon enhancement. Is it deliberate that the UI for this feature is reminiscent of space and the planet? This is a great question. It is set up that way to show that there is life stream, aka the energy of the planet, flowing inside your weapon as well, like a whole micro universe.
Crazy.
And I know, and
that's a great fucking detail.
Yeah, like a whole micro universe, and it is interesting that it's there's this there's this idea of these materia being their own whole kind of universes. I wonder if that will take some kind of, significance later on. It also projects FF7 take on the world of particles and molecules, with the microcosm gradually expanding as you improve your weapons and drawing out talent and abilities. And we hope you enjoyed, and we did. Okay, so now to the
Ultimania plus.
The plus translated by our own Turquoise Hammer. So this is the Returning to the Seventh Heaven. So again, these are all stage directions. The script in Japanese, kind of sometimes made there's localizations choices to make it understand which lines are being said for us as English speakers. But for the most part, it's a closer translation to the Japanese than the English. Tifa's anxiously waiting with Marlene on the stairs in front of the bar. As it's the middle of the night, Marlene is looking sleepy. She catches sight of Cloud and gives a half wave. Marlene is snuggled up against Tifa, nodding off. Sensing a presence, she comes to. Tifa, Marlene! Daddy, you're home! Barrett has apparently been looking around and appears from the other direction. He rushes over to Marlene and lifts her up with ease. That's right, I'm back. Welcome home. They continue into the bar. Have you been a good girl? Yeah, I've been playing with Tifa. Oh, you have you? What a little angel you are, Barrett says. Tifa holds the door and waits for Cloud. Tifa, good work out there. Cloud nods slightly. Tifa spies his flower. What have you got there? Those are pretty hard to come by. Is it real? Cloud holds out the flower with a somewhat cocky gesture. The kind Zack would make.
Okay.
Yeah. Tifa.
Oh my god.
I know, Tifa happily accepts it. However, not the sort of thing I'd expect from you. Guess I've changed a little. Has been 5 years. Tifa is puzzled by this, as she thinks it's been 7 years since she last saw Cloud. And then Cloud says, I need to talk to Barrett. Tifa's still distracted by Cloud's previous remark about it having been 5 years, but gives a hurried response. Right, come on. Cloud proceeds into Seventh Heaven. Upon speaking to Marlene, Marlene runs and hides behind the counter. This is even kind of interesting, right? Like the fact that that Marlene is a little scared of Cloud. Yeah, he's a stranger, but also it's just Cloud does give off this aura that some people who are intuitive catch on to. It's interesting to know. Barrett, hey, the hell did you just do to Marlene? Tifa reacts in the background of the dialogue. No subtitles required. Barrett shoves Cloud back with all his strength. Tifa tries to ask Marlene what's wrong. Marlene is shaking her head at Barrett, panicking about Cloud being falsely accused. It's just that you told me I shouldn't talk to strangers. That a girl, Marlene. Look at you keeping your promises to Daddy. Barrett moves over to Marlene and speaks to her in a doting manner. A total 180 from how he was treating Cloud. Good girl. You're such a sweetie pie. Let's stick to that bedtime too, okay? Marlene looks tired but shakes her head all the same. Nah, I want to talk with you more, Daddy. It's a momentous day considering they successfully carried out their mission, and Barrett wants to spend time with Marlene too, so he makes a special exception. Alright, but just this once, okay? Barrett takes Marlene in his arm. Tifa looks over with a smile at his father-daughter exchange, then notices Cloud and calls him over to him. Oh, right. Can I get you something to eat? And Cloud says, no, I want to talk about my compensation. Oh, right. Barrett sets Marlene down and she sits back in her seat with a happy look on her face. Barrett resumes his seat as well. Tifa comes out from behind the counter and whispers as she stands next to Cloud. Considerate of Barrett and Marlene. Tifa, about that, let's talk outside for a minute. And says, could you tell us why Cloud makes that cocky gesture when he holds the flower? And this is to Toriyama. And cool attitude Cloud takes when he's talking to Tifa in Seventh Heaven is part an expression of the young man he wishes he could be, is in part. So there's two descriptions here. So there's this one from Toriyama and then the red letter. So it's in part the expression of a young man he wishes he could be. So it's his ideal self. The fact that he doesn't quite suit him, maybe because it's a fantasy persona he's concocted in his head that's coming to the surface here. So
this is so fucking good.
Yeah, it's good. So it's like a mixture of these two things. Like the red letter is spoilery. And then the answer by Toriyama is diplomatic. The red letter here is saying, this is what Zack would do. But Toriyama's saying, in a general sense, this is his ideal version of a cool person. And then there really isn't any other scripting for that segment. So we just have this, and only half of this applies to chapter 3. We'll read the next, when we do chapter 4. A chat about Cloud's past. So in Stargazer Heights, Tifa's room, Tifa crosses over so she's next to Cloud and stares at him. Cloud grows nervous. So tell me. Tifa makes her request with a friendly smile. Tifa, about what happened after you left the village. Cloud feels a sense of anticlimax. We had an arrangement, remember? Back at the neighborhood watch? Cloud realizes there's been a misunderstanding. Oh, right. Tifa stares at Cloud expectantly. He begins to speak as if retracing his memory. Back during the war, soldiers were treated like heroes. Because the war ended soon after Cloud became a Shinra trooper, he actually has little memory of the conflict of Wutai. His statement about the war is based on Zack's memories. Yeah, I'd see them in the news every day, Cloud says, but by the time I became a soldier, things had changed. It wasn't the job I'd always dreamed of. Working for Shinra was nothing more than... Cloud isn't sure it was nothing more than. Zack also had a job that seemed to him like no more than wet work. He finds himself at a loss for words. Red letters. He opens his mouth to say something but quickly closes it. Tifa interprets this in Cloud's favor, figuring he can't speak about his harrowing experiences. So I'm
blown away.
Yeah,
this is
it's really good stuff.
Insight this is really giving. I mean, it's obvious like these are things that we know, we've dissected and stuff, but to see this in official writing like this, we need these officially.
I know. Sorry, I can tell you don't want to talk about it. Cloud shakes his head to indicate that isn't the case, right? Because he meant to keep going, but the reason that there's a gap is because he's trying to formulate this, right? He's trying he's in his own mental fog. And so he shakes his head no because he's frustrated that he couldn't communicate well. But Tifa, I think, like the way that it says is, she interprets it in Cloud's favor, right? So she's being generous to Cloud. And then Cloud says, it's a violent job, not the kind of thing you talk about with someone you haven't seen in a while. Tifa says, I get it. And then Cloud says, ... Tifa takes an earnest tone as she gazes into the distance. It's odd though, isn't it? Meeting here, of all places. So far away from where and when we said goodbye. So that's that. And there's more to come. There's also stage directions for the first 4 chapters that come, and those will come at the end of chapter 4. But for now, we did it. Hey, I really appreciate you being here and hanging out with me. You're a great commentary. Definitely.
Oh, dude, thank you, man. I always have a blast whenever we collaborate and work on things together, especially when it's FF7 related,
Yeah, definitely.
So it's always something I look forward to.
Yeah.
And I'm also looking forward to this video. I actually started earlier your chapter 2 video this morning, but I didn't get through all of it, so I'm gonna definitely check it out because there are some parts that I'm curious to what you might have read from this relaying to that.
Yeah, and I do edit it down pretty significantly, but I will try and get all relevant stuff, and I'll try and get that done tonight and have it uploaded and released tomorrow. So from the YouTube, from the YouTube people, thank you for tuning in. And hey everybody, Schrodinger's Baby Seal back again with even more footage to look at.